Ooh, ooh. I'm all different colored now. I don't like how you can see my background real briefly before I pop in. But hey, here I am. I return. Looking like uh, Violet from Willy Wonka. He just gets some chewing gum constantly. Welcome back to Low Energy Videos, where I have been doing a very adult thing, which is sitting in a tub worrying about money. Don't worry, won't splash over to you guys. I will, as always, point out that that's a thing. However, it's just in general. You gotta squeeze every penny, but unfortunately, can't squeeze into your body, and then you become monitor, monetize, and then you can use your power of money to fuck up economies across the world. But I can tell you that tonight we are going to watch some content. How about that? How about that? How about I tell you about the content. Simply put, we got a lot of random stuff we can watch. We were doing the same yesterday. It was a pretty fun stream. Do the same today. So, check out the links down below. And on top of that, you can also find the stream thing that should already be there. Oh, it is. Great. Hooray! Foreshadowing. Or Forsyth. Everlasting Gum. Ever Flavor Gum? I can't remember. No, it was the Everlasting Gum, Gobstopper, but she couldn't stop chewing gum. And then, yeah, they were stuck on, like, the color violet. It was like grape flavor, or blackcurrant. They couldn't get the color to work, and she just turns into a big balloon. Yeah, because they're mildly annoying children who rather than learning a lesson get punished. Their lives are all ruined. Most of them. The little annoying American kid who was obsessed with cowboys, he seemed like he was having a fucking time of his life. Augustus Gloop is dead. Like, let's be entirely honest here. Augustus Gloop is dead. I forget about Veruca. Doesn't she just turn into she goes down to the incinerator. Yeah, the bad eggs are tossed down into the incinerator, and she just ended up being incinerated. Meanwhile, the grandparents, who are like clearly all as benefit frauds, they're all sitting pretty in a company that is now run by a child, and was most likely already facing major financial problems. And the more you think about it, the more, like, Charlie's family aren't going to benefit in the slightest from having the Wonka label. They're just going to die. Like, the amount of people who probably freak out. Hell, the activists for the Oompa Loompas who are used as slaves. Dancing slaves, too. What a weird way to start a stream. But I'm doubling down on it. It's a lot better than what I was doing for the past hour, just naked in an empty tub, watching the water drain out, thinking, well, if I move this around, maybe I can pay off this, blah, blah, blah. All's good in the hood. I just kind of got a little naughty over the past last week, and I could have maybe used that money for better things. But more money comes in, and it'll solve itself. It always does. Now, I hope you guys are having a fantastic evening. It was another lovely day here. I didn't get a chance to check out what's what. This is also the last of the content streams. Tomorrow, I will be back in Skyrim. He starts a band? Which one? Veruca or Violet? Um, anyway, the plan for tonight is just to go on for a few more hours. Now, I have been having my fast day today, and I have been feeling a little bit peckish today. Only now did I realize I got orange juice, a whole box of orange juice that I haven't actually like had yet, a whole carton of it. But more importantly, in 2 hours, I get to eat before going to bed. So I'm going to be very smart and just have a little bit of cereal. Oh, after the stream tomorrow, if you're a member of our Discord, link in the doobly-doo, on the 20th, those links will go back to normal, hopefully. We will have ourselves a little movie night over on the voice chat. I'll pick up some nibbles, as I'm not going to be drinking tomorrow. And while I will be drinking the week after, I won't be streaming. Oh, I finished editing the mall tour, so that'll be out after the stream tomorrow as a video. Because believe it or not, this is called Low Energy Videos, and I have some videos. That thing's been sitting on my desktop for like a month, tormenting me. That's a band, Veruca Salt. I picture like a modern Veruca Salt being like in the version of their version of like the Kardashians and shit. But there's a lot of things we can talk about. I gotta hold off on some content for Sunday. But we got other stuff too. Even Dextero has been talking about Daniel Larson. No new news. It's just Daniel Larson looks like he's going to be his court case. He's not even allowed to leave prison for it. It's going to be done in a prison, like a center somewhere. They're considering him that dangerous. They never gave Chris Chan that level of like security. I suppose Chris Chan, for all the evils that Chris Chan did, they unfortunately already did it at that point. But all's good. All's good. I was gonna listen to some lofi beats, but that was enough of a preamble. Let's just jump into it. There's also new news on the new news. There's also some new developments on the portal in Dublin. It's got to be turned off at 10 o'clock at night because of inappropriate behavior, as if that's going to fix anything. Let's just go through them one by one. Funny Chinese propaganda. It better be hilarious.
A fake encounter.
You guys can hear it. Can andale.
A Chinese man is confronted by local thugs threatening to rob him. He pulls out the Chinese passport and they immediately bow in respect and no longer threaten his safety.
Oh, in reality, these guys will be beating the shit out of him and jokingly bowing at the same time while stealing his shoes. Like the Chinese government is one of the few lifelines Cuba has these days, but at the same time, they must tell people, like, you know, you're gonna be held up the second you leave the security area. You know, like all bets are off.
Like he's just pulled out a magic amulet to repel bad spirits.
When you see a Chinese passport.
Karl Marx to materialize and smite the robbers, or Mao Zedong's shiny forehead to blind them. Who believes this crap? Well, no sane person would actually pull out a passport and thinks that they're going to help them evade trouble if they're getting robbed. And apparently Chinese nationalistic influencers truly believe that when in danger outside of China, holding out a Chinese passport will deter danger, when in reality, that's probably the one-way ticket to a bad ending. Now, it's one of the worst passports for traveling too, as it requires visas for pretty much all of the first world.
Yep. Sometimes people, when they want to travel from China to like Europe, it's sometimes easier to go through like Kenya and shit like that. almost certainly that picture there was just a bunch of like starving guys in Havana or Santiago, and this guy just paid them like a week's salary to pretend to do this. It's the same with those religious people who go out to like villages in Africa and just convert them overnight. They don't fucking care. They'll take the food offered and then they'll go right back to, you know, worshipping the ancestors or praying to Mecca. But this isn't for Hispanic people. This isn't for Westerners. This is for Chinese people who believe that this is how it is. But there's not that many of them. Because a lot of those people will never be able to go over to Cuba anyway, because a lot of them don't travel outside of China. China doesn't, in all fairness, like a lot of its population to travel outside of China, because they might get some crazy ideas, like China's not all that great. Or it's okay to voice your opinion about topics. But yeah, no, it's at the same time, the Chinese insider guy here, he's playing for the other team, our team. But sometimes what he says, you got to take with like a grain of salt. But it doesn't change the fact that like just like when you see propaganda, it's fucking hilarious. This is so weird. Character designs are perfect, no notes. Edgecool Reynolds or Reynard. 2019 Canada. Todd Schaefer and Tonic. DNA Studios. Okay. What are we looking at here? More horny furries. You know what? Keeping this one for Sunday. Because horny furries and bearded ramblings seem to become a regular thing. When we finally update the new background, we gotta include a furry, something to do with furries. Because I'm not a furry, but I am furry adjacent. Keeping that for Sunday. We already watched this one. Okay. This is brilliant.
You bloody wearing sunglasses.
It's for a photo shoot.
Look. It's not your car, is it?
Look, oh, this motherfucker sat on like this woman sat on his car and he's taking pictures. Do you think he's like pretending this is his car and or do you think she's like a model and she just needs to quickly look like she's doing something like somewhere exotic and shit?
But why are you filming though?
Because you're taking a picture with the girl on the bloody car.
They're filming me. Take my phone. I don't understand why you're up there filming me for.
Because you're taking a picture with the car.
You don't film me and say, oh, you're taking pictures or what? Is it?
It does matter, bro. It does.
It's nothing to do with you, is it? At the end of the day, if I want to sit there and take pictures, then I can take pictures.
You can't take a picture of the car, bro. Don't you sit inside it?
Who said?
Don't you sit inside it?
Yeah, I want to sit inside it.
No, you can't sit inside it.
You can't. I bet you can't afford the car either.
No. It's fine. Look. I unlock car, bro. Go inside. Go inside, bro. I unlock car.
Do it.
Too slow.
I almost wonder if it's like staged. Oh god, one reason I got off Instagram was the amount of guys that you'd see. Normally, like from they normally be like from Armenia or Georgia or something like that, and they'd be next to a rented Lamborghini, flashing these wads of cash, and they're all like crypto bros, 20, and none of them are like gonna make you money at all. They're gonna take all your money. But here's where it's extra fun. One time I was talking to a friend and she saw my Instagram account and she saw that these people were like, because if you might recall my Instagram, the main reason I got off my Instagram account was because I was hacked and I got thousands of people following me. Like thousands of them. And I'm following thousands back. And I don't want that. Because they're all fucking Bitcoin enthusiasts and sex bots and weird religious stuff and so many nail salons from like Armenia and like Bulgaria and India and Indonesia, and like why Why do I want to find pictures of people I know? I want to see new stuff on my own terms, so I got rid of it. But she happened to scroll through it, and she said, "Oh my God, I think this guy liked me on Tinder." Like, if it wasn't him, they make them in a factory, you know? Don't... like my TikTok followers. Are they all beep boops? Oh, seeing that you're here, Troy, I think you tossed this one up on the Discord. Red Hot Steel versus a frozen lake. Yeah, no, this is some content right here. Make sure to get rid of this. Actually, hold on. With my new filter, can I scroll past, like... I'm still see-through, though. Like, I'd prefer not to be see-through. Maybe more see-through. Now everything is just like the background. I don't want people to see the background. Smoothness. Oh. No. Fuck it. Fuck it, as they say in some societies. Terrific. Oh, terrific indeed. Actually, yeah, it hasn't. Let's complete. So... okay. Oh, how steamy will we get? Not very? It'll just wiggle through it, won't it? Oh, the camera bottom's a nice touch. Hey, it's one of those very slow farts that won't end. Music's a bit on the generic side, but this is kind of cool. So I'm guessing there's so much water around it because, like, it's radiating so much heat that all the other ice around it is becoming too soft. And I'm thinking, if that's the case, would you want to stand near this? Like, at a certain point, won't it just cause a massive circle bigger than you are? Oh, yeah. Whee! There we go. Now the hole will start filling up again. Hole. Bet you still couldn't touch that metal with your hands. Look, yeah, it's still it's doing it all over again now. Holy shit. Wonder how long it'll take to There we go again. Something tells me it's not cold enough. If you did this in the Arctic, or if you did like an experiment where you were underwater in like, because no matter where you are in the world, if you're near the bottom of the ocean, it is beyond for it's like so goddamn cold. And then if you let it go, it'd be like one of those underwater vents just pumping out just endless bubbles. Yeah, like bubbles. Okay. Let's see how many holes it can make. Nah, that was cool, but it looks like he's just... Oh, it's sped up. Oh, okay, maybe. Ooh. Woo! 17 seconds. We need to see how hot it would be. Wait, is it down in the descriptions? That's how I will put red hot steel into a frozen lake. Okay, but... No, why am I watching this at exam in 30 minutes? Volcanoes is prevented by popping cold water on before it explodes. Oh, I remember someone once saying, why couldn't you stop a volcano by just finding every volcano and then filling it up with concrete? But yeah, the that's kind of cool. Mr. Creative. See if he's got anything else. More metal stuff. 5 best underwater experiments. Lava versus ice hole. 10 incredible watermelon tricks. I don't know if it's incredible. Egg yolks versus lava. I've seen that before in the past. He's mostly working with how to DIY for kids. How to make mini reset torch using a Coke. All right. Ooh. I'm gonna keep the muted music because it's not just that it's copyrighted. I mean, the worst is gonna happen is we'd get like a thing down here at the bottom, like the last video. But it's so generic. What's that? Spring. Hey, that was a... Okay. Oh, is this gonna siphon the heat into it? Okay. This is like a combo of Art Attack and that show that Red Eye showed us with the guy who would like make his own radios and shit like that. I ponder what I watch next. Ah, I know what. Oh, we can get rid of this. Watched that already. So, I finally got around watching the new episodes of Smiling Friends, and Mr. Frog's in episode 2. Highly recommend it, because it's Mr. Frog, and Mr. Frog loves you. Keep them away from children and open flames. Also, about halfway through The Expanse right now. I've been keeping that up. Exercise today. Obviously, diet in the form of not eating anything. Might explain why this tea tastes so good. Okay, I can see what he's doing here. There's a candle, tea candle. My God, we keep so many of them on hand. Because as you know, around about winter, these parts, it just starts to get incredibly prone to power outages. So you want to keep your phone fully charged with something to listen to. And you want tea lights as far as the eye can see. Or, as I've done, I bought a radio and actually has like a battery pack in it. We need to get one of those survival radios. For the end of the year, we should also pick up one of those electric or gas hob things, like a barbecue. Because at the very least, we can boil water, make tea, and black beans. Nice. Food. Absolutely impractical, but kind of cool. Haven't seen this guy in a while. I think I've seen him as a paramedic.
Come on, buddy, calm down. You know we're here to help you. What do you think he took? Mike. Nose candy? Nah, not enough talking. And he took off all of his clothes. I'm a paramedic, see? Wait. Hey, Mike, are you being chased by wolves? You see them too? Oh, Flocka. Flocka!
Street Farm bingo win.
All right, you drop some ketamine. I'm gonna go help wrestle a naked guy.
So, was the Cheerios inclusive? Also, is it having Flocka guaranteed to see the wolves? Because if you're being chased by wolves, then is that like the Flocka equivalent of the Clockwork Elves? It raises many questions, and I'm not actually going to go and check them out personally, because last time I checked, doing Flocka is bad. Praising the dead is good, especially when they're still alive. We need more people to make giant tombs. Why can't wealthy people just create tombs or mausoleums? We don't see that anymore.
The Tomb of Drake is set to be completed in downtown Toronto in late 2024.
The underground portion of the tomb is complete, and it's got everything Drake requested for the afterlife. So there's rooms filled with Patron, there's a room for 21 Savage, and there's also a fully functioning OVO store. To prevent grave robbers, we have had an old lady curse all the items. So if someone does steal something, for the rest of their life, they will be followed home by the Owl Man. Besides that, the only sealed item in Drake's sarcophagus is a pirated copy of Stranger Things on DVD.
The Owl Man kind of sounds interesting. We need to see more Owl Men. Or perhaps even Owl Women. Space Marine fight right now. Okay, this was something that we spotted last night, but we couldn't watch it because DeFranco was talking about it. So I went and found what he was talking about myself. And here is some local news. From Florida, of course.
Takedown of a man accused of trying to steal $30,000 worth of Pokemon cards. You see several people there pinning the suspect to the ground outside of a shopping center in southwest Miami-Dade. Officials identifying him as 33-year-old Yaciel Manfarol.
There's a name. Why is he giving me the come here, dear lips?
Police say the suspect, who was experiencing homelessness, ran out of a trading card store with the pricey Pokemon cards when he was stopped in his tracks by a group of people who held him down until police got there.
All right. Where would a homeless guy sold those cards to? And also, was there a Snorlax? Because that's very important to ask, apparently. There's so much to look at. Oh, there's so much here. Things can always be worse. Okay, what the hell is that? Is that like oatmeal porridge? Hey, buddy. There we are.
I could be enrolled in an anatomy and physiology course in college.
So y'all know how I told y'all I don't use my regular voice in my videos because I sound gloomy. So I bring it up here so I sound a lot more energetic, and then it's easier for me to give that comedy theme off, you know.
I can relate to that. I wonder if Fredo's on the spectrum.
The reason why I sound like that is partially because, you know, I went through a lot in life, and it drained me, and I also went through puberty. But I also took anatomy and physiology in college, and that is one of the worst decisions you could ever make in your life. It'll make you reevaluate your decisions, and I honestly think you'd find it more enjoyable to try and memorize the dictionary, because when you got to take anatomy, you got to know the human body like the back of your hand and the front and the side, up your forearm, down.
Yeah. All right. So if you study anatomy, you know, here's the best thing you can do. You'll stand in a mirror, you'll stand naked in your 30s in front of a full body mirror, look at you, wonder what's wrong with you, and then think of all the things you don't remember, and you know one of them's fatal, but you can't remember which. And no, it won't save you on a goddamn doctor's visit. Vidget. Goddamn doctor's visit. Ooh. Don't let go. Oh, this is crazy.
Perspective.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
3, 2, 1.
Yep.
See ya. Holy!
I wonder if this is in, there's a tower out in Poland that for the longest time was the largest tower on Earth. And there's this guy who goes out like 4 times a year. He's paid an astronomically large amount of money. And it takes him forever to climb up it. And one time he has like a head cam on him, and yeah, it's not, that just looks, no.
This is one crazy perspective.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
3, 2, 1.
Yep.
See ya. Holy!
Like before I even got to the shit part, it was already being drained out. Kind of give me the Alan Rickman look at the end of Die Hard. They told him he was going to drop on 5, but they dropped him on 1. So they had to get his face just right. Good shit. Not for Alan, who was probably terrified. Alright, speaking of terror that we don't even have words for. Shani and Rev time. Rev assures us he ain't starving. Now, I today literally have been starving. I have not eaten anything. Coffee, tea, water. No sugar in anything, just a little bit of milk. And plus I did like 1.5 kilometers on the treadmill. Grand total, I've probably taken in about, I don't know, 50 calories today. So to say that's well under starvation level is meh, right? I will never have the body of Rev, but that's a good thing because Rev is Rev. Ooh, making pasta and garlic bread. Don't tempt me. I just did up my shopping list for tomorrow, including my fancy food. By fancy, I mean I'm gonna get frozen pizza. I haven't had a frozen pizza in a hot minute. Fuck it, they're cheap. I'm getting the cheapest too. I'm getting the Hardy pizza. God damn it, that's a crap pizza. But next week I should pick up some garlic bread. Going to a barbecue with Lady. Going up to see Feelgood and Schultz at their place. And I'll pick up some garlic bread and some sausages. Hopefully the weather's good.
How you doing, guys?
Hi.
I'm here to show the world that I'm not starving to death.
Many other things are happening to me, but not starving. He's wearing my robe.
What's up, loving or something? I'm here to show everybody that I'm not starving.
He looks like he's hungover, which I know he doesn't drink anymore. He can't probably afford it, but like I don't think he was starving at one point. I don't know if he's starving now. You know?
Doing? How's everybody doing?
I'm doing okay, man. Maybe I should start smoking. That'll cut down on my weight. Oh God.
Yeah.
And of course she has to say it's
gonna do this not long and I'm leaving.
Of course it has to be right there. Also, why do they always sit with the light behind them? Wouldn't it make more sense for them to sit anywhere else? He's done other videos in like their kitchen, in the basement. There's range.
Can everybody see that I'm not starving?
No.
Can you see?
No.
I'm not starving to death.
But you look incredibly emaciated. Now, some of that would due to your decade plus, if not double decade words. You see what food doesn't do to a motherfucker? It doesn't help. It's not there to help. No brain food from fish. No energy from glucose. It's just I'm fucked up right now. I'm not firing on all cinder blocks, you know? I wonder if Brett's ever had a hunger day. But the drugs did their damage to you. Your incredibly abusive lifestyle with the hut next to you did the damage. Your weird religious shut-inness did the damage. But at the same time, you also weren't fed because of the hut next to you, to the giant blob creature next to you, because she would steal all the food. There's an animated short about it.
I should do a full shot for you somehow. I don't know how I should do it. How should I?
Oh my God, stand up and do a Cyrax. Take your shirt off, or a drunk Jeff Holiday / Ben, or me, Krendar Magicus that one time. Take off your fucking shirt and show us how close to the fucking bone your skin gets.
Do a full shot to make this work, to make sure that people know I'm not starving. Because Shani gets an email, and then I have to deal with this stupidity when I wake up.
You mean an email?
This stupid fucking bullshit.
Her arm is bigger than your torso, okay? She can't wipe her own ass. You've said this on numerous occasions, that she can no longer wipe her own ass.
I have to deal with when I wake up.
Oh, that's not what you're getting your new... is it just an anglerfish scenario at this time? Are you just living off her body
because somebody decided to send an email that upset her. So I have to come on here. I'm gonna make sure and prove to you that I'm not.
That sounds like a Shani problem.
Do I look like I'm starving?
Yes.
Do I look like I'm starving?
What?
Okay,
Yeah.
like,
Do you want to see a fucking titty? These are fucking titties. They're going down, but they're still there. They're actually really going down. It's pretty crazy. But like you are at most out of shape in the sense that you don't have any muscle mass. You're a wiry motherfucker. But like you also are starving because she eats all the food. You guys go on your streams, you complain that you have no money, then you go and get food. Or should I say she gets food. She needs lots of food all the time, except she doesn't because she actually moves around less than you do because she never gets off her fat fucking ass. So if anything, you should be the morbidly obese one because you need the energy. And she should be like an emaciated weight. She should be a Gina Cooney.
do I look like I'm fucking starving?
Yes, look at those arms.
Starving? Do you see a bicep that looks like that?
That's not your fucking
body. Looks like that.
It's not. It is literally your body. I bet you, if you took a whiff of this motherfucker through the residual Shani sweat that's on him, you'd smell ketosis. I bet you his teeth are hanging on by a thread before they all pop out.
Without having protein in your diet.
And that's not much of a...
No, you don't have to do that, honey. If you don't have protein in your diet, how could you look like that? How could you...
You don't look fit.
You look like this if...
Your hair's falling
you're
out.
not eating.
Or it's going thin and at the top.
Starving to death. And these fucking morons that say I
Show us your fingernails. You know, there's tons of... Show us your tongue. Is there like little white blotches on your tongue?
Are stupid. I actually look better than I did at 27.
That's possible, but that's only because 27 you were pill popping like crazy.
The way I look and the way that other people perceive that the way I look.
And Shani tells me to say this.
I ain't Eugenia Cooney. If you want to really help somebody that's dying and deliberately starving themselves, and I'm not anti-Eugenia Cooney. God, my eyes look so horrible.
I kind of am. Jesus. Shani says dance, Jason dance. Sad, isn't it? Yeah, this is what's happening. That's all that's happening.
Well, technically, it's not you deliberately starving. The rumor is I'm forcing you to starve to death.
Well, I mean, that's even more retarded.
Oh,
so,
absolutely.
Yes.
Rev-tarded.
It is accurate that I'm getting food intake, and Shani's okay with it.
He's a rev-tard. It's accurate that I'm getting food intake. That's a normal thing people say. Blink twice if you want the police to be called. It'll probably take a good few rounds to put her down. There's an elephant gun out there somewhere. Shani hungry.
Shani is not holding food from me. All of that stuff.
Well, that's because you don't have it. She probably eats the cardboard box that it arrives in, okay? She probably doesn't wait for it to be, like, she eats the... She's like a goat. Or that she's that pig from DoorDash. Just kind of grabs the food, sniffs it for big, goes like... Blah, 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 blah.
Yet they get this from one time that she ate a fucking sub and I didn't have anything really that day much. And she ate the whole fucking thing.
No, that's not what we think of. We're thinking of all the cookies and she ate your peanut butter. You eat less at times than a fucking, like, UN refugee. Like, the kids out in Gaza are probably eating more than you some days. And it's not for you to maintain your Adonis-like figure. It's because she's either holding it back on you or she's eating it before you have a chance to. She has a stash of instant potatoes, some instant potatoes or rice somewhere. Oh, you know that there is like an emergency calorie pill somewhere. And if Rev ever found it, he'd descend on it like a Skaven would. Like he'd sniff the air and go, but there'd be so much that he would bloat and die. Because if you don't know, if you don't eat enough and then you get a massive intake of food, you'll die. So, you know, his doctor has to sit him down and just say, hey, so we did some blood work, and you know what ketosis is, right? Yeah, it's what all the MMA sort of people are. God, throat real quick there. And he'd be like, yeah, but that they're still eating enough to justify their form. Like, well, I smelled a pizza a few days ago. Doesn't that count?
And then all of a sudden I said, hey, could I have a piece of sub? And it was gone. Wait, she offered it to me before and I didn't take it. Okay, so there's your story.
No, that's her story that she's making you say. Okay, this is like those fucking pro-Russian people that are currently living in the Donbass. Not the ones that actually are buying into it, but those who are actively like saying it over and over again while there's a looming figure in the background.
That's what actually happened. You got your actual story now. So you can stop lying about the bullshit of that. So look, I'm not starving. Okay.
You're starving.
Okay, I don't.
And you probably have other things wrong with you too.
At all.
Why'd you do
I
it?
ain't starving. You fucking morons want to create stupidity like you always do.
I don't think we can create stupidity. I think stupidity is born. You can't forge it or create it in a factory. It has to be born out of honest intent. Like a child who is you know, they're going to spend all day eating like sweets after they're being told it'll make them sick, and then they get sick. You can't blame ignorance on that. But we've all been there.
Oh my God,
but the whole world has told us not to.
Email and harass her and...
If he had that much sugar, if he got like a big jar of gummy bears and he just started wolfing them down, well, Shani would not speak to him for a year, if not a decade. And B, he would he'd die. Like all that sugar, or well, at the very least he'd get diabetes.
Say that she's fucking deliberately starving me to
Have to have his foot cut off.
Let's do that. Let's wake up today and do that to her.
And she would. No one thinks that she's literally trying to kill you because you're the only lifeline she has. Now she wants to abuse you, as your driving license proves.
That last night, well, I'm not even gonna go there.
And what'd you bring it up?
I will confess before man.
Oh?
I will confess before man.
What?
I had a drinking relapse.
Oh, there we go. Sounds about right.
I've been very suicidal since Mother's Day because of my mother.
Wasn't Mother's Day only like a week ago? Wasn't it on like the 12th? Or like the 10th? I don't talk to my mother anymore, so I don't really remember. But
there were 3 nights, and it was every one of these nights were the nights that I drank. There were 3 nights that I wanted to take Shani's bottle of gabapentin and take every one of them.
why share this with the class if you're living such a happy and carefree life there, man? Also, where'd you get the money for the booze? Got it from donations. Know where I get my money when I drink too much? The Irish government. And that's why I'm in this situation right now, where I'm kind of like going, ugh. But I'll bounce back. I don't actually think, hey, maybe I should go out to the river with a big boulder and just jump in. No, you just get on with it. He's probably mostly bitching about the fact he has no money. If you're getting drunk, then you have money to get drunk. Drop the alcohol, and then you have money. And then next time, instead of drinking, take the money, and then you have more. I don't always do that, but
I think it's sad that I felt that way, but I self-medicated some of this shit away with alcohol.
No, it doesn't sound like you did.
Work. And
I imagine Rev gets really angry and desperate and sad when he drinks.
Hid it from me. Yep, you can't. I was just gonna say you can't hide that from your wife.
There's plenty of marriages out there where you can hide. Most traditional forms of alcoholics, they tend to do things like have a little bit extra. I remember, was it Michael J. Fox? He would have he'd have a beer at dinner, no, a glass of wine, but then he'd go into the bathroom and he'd have stuff hidden and he'd take a few extra hits.
You're sitting there drinking Fireball, and of course she's gonna smell that shit on your breath and want to kiss you and shit. So,
because you smell like cinnamon. She finds you attractive when you remind her of baked goods. Hell, the only reason you haven't starved today is because you downed the bottle of Fireball.
you miss that. You're not gonna miss that if you're the intimate partner of the alcoholic. So there was a huge fight last night, and
I think mostly Shani doesn't like him drinking because she can't control him, which is normally like, oh, what, does he go off the deep end? No, she can't control him. And she needs to control him because she has nothing else in her life. She lost her kids. She lost all his money. She lost the love and respect of her mother. I don't know anything about her father. Like, the point is, like, no matter how many times you go down the rabbit hole, they lost their fucking cat. I know there's another cat behind there, so I guess maybe they got a new one. They'll probably lose that one eventually, too.
I gotta wake up to this bullshit where I have to come on a fucking stream and tell
No, you
people
actually didn't have to do anything.
I'm not starving.
You didn't have to do anything.
So there you go. You got your reaction video, guys. You know,
Yep.
the guys that do this. The reason that the reason that you sent the email to her was to get a reaction like this, which
Just don't respond to it. It's not complicated. If you don't want to feed the trolls, if you don't want to do anything with it, then you don't have to.
I gave you.
Well, she gave. She gave.
Go and stream it, or you're probably streaming it now, and go make your super chats and all your money on our fucking
Watermelon
Facebook
cat.
invoices. Go ahead.
About to have a drinking relapse. No! Don't! wait, hold on. Watermelon cat. Why am I not? Why am I not? Why am I not?
Why do you respond to this stuff, Rev? Because I'm asked to.
Then say no. And say it's better not to respond. No, Shani, we're not going to respond. You can respond if you want. I'm not going to get involved. You're mentally ill. Did you take your pills today? They matter more than what some person online thinks. Oh, watermelon's the name of their cat. Okay. Oh, because it's a fruit, she won't eat it. Makes sense.
Do I come on here for my health? Do I come on here because I want to? No.
You do sometimes.
I'm asked to.
Well, so what else are you gonna do all day?
A troll said this in an email. you should probably go online and say you're not starving. I've done that a bunch of times. No, you should probably do it again. Okay, I'm
Fucking trolls.
not starving, folks. You get that?
You're starving. Got
I'm
it.
not starving. So, God bless everybody. I didn't even look at the chat. I feel really bad about that, but I don't.
You do look like someone who's hit the bottle again. Like your eyes are all puffy and like.
I ain't looking at the chat. I can't do it right now because I'm really done.
I'm done. I'm done. You're as done as Jared is. And then Jared's right back. Jared came back the next day, by the way.
Piece of Maranatha.
Piece of Piggy. Pig. That was more of a Rev thing. I've always found Rev more interesting than Shani. Combined them, absolute disaster. But I really do find him more interesting as a rule. He's still a fucking weirdo and broken. There's a tragicness to him that Shani doesn't have. Anyway, something a little different. It's hard to make conversation sometimes. Yay! Lie.
I'm driving a hearse for a funeral home. I like to have a little conversation with the person while I'm driving them.
You talk to the corpses.
Yes, sir.
How do these conversations go?
You know, it can get a little boring, but
it'd be scary if it didn't. So, is it comfortable in there? Padding work out alright? Or my back's a little stiff. Please tell me that there's someone in there about to jump out and prank me. You know, zombie. Brains and shit. Okay.
It's almost like I'm kind of glad you're dead, because I don't know if I'd be having as interesting a conversation with you if you were alive.
So you've looked at someone and you've thought the most interesting thing about you is that you're dead.
Yeah, when you look at somebody's face, you can tell a lot of people just kind of spent their life with their heads down in their work and not doing much else. I'm driving.
Okay, that's not. There's no real way of telling that. There are some people who you kind of like put a name, a face to a job. You look at someone and go like, hey, that person looks like they're a PE teacher, or that person looks like they're an accountant. This person looks like he's going to sell me crypto. There's a guy who works in the village up here who I meet on the regular, and I swear to Christ, it's not his job, but he looks and he sounds like someone who's about to sell me some NFTs. There's something kind of sleazy about the guy. I won't say who. But what I will say is that, like, it's not his job. So I would be wrong to make that sort of judgment call. Other people, you look at them and they're like Cyrax. Okay, there's something broken about him. There's something maybe a little bit no, keep away about him. Marshall Matters the fourth, the same. So if Marshall was dead in the hearse, and I was like driving and I didn't know him, and I look back, I would just be like, okay, so this guy was a skinhead? There's no tattoos? Was he a mechanic? Whatever. But on top of that, like, what are you gonna say about you? Like, when you're in the back of a hearse, will people be like, oh, you looked like a guy who was doing my job? You know, what were the hours for you, man? Were any benefits? We drive one of those new 2004 models or what? I remember watching an interview with with a hearse driver from the UK, and it just went through his day to day. It was very interesting stuff. But he said the hardest part was to pick up girls. Because sometimes, like he'd dress up like a normal lad, and he was actually kind of fit looking. Like he looked like he played football on the weekends, but it started as just like a job because he also had to maintain the hearse. But then he started to really like get into it. He started to be like, I'm really proud of this work. I've helped people in my own little way grieve. But when he'd go out and he'd tell people what he did for a living, he'd be like, oh, I'm in shipping. I do like, I deliver stuff from one place to another. Oh, what sort of stuff? You know, bags, mostly. Hell, doing this? Some people find it interesting, but immediately they want to know how much you make. So, let's help out my dating scene, huh? Please like, share, and subscribe, and if you can, please help us with the goal. That goal is up there exclusively to keep us watching YouTube videos without any ads. So, and no, it's not glamorous, but it does keep the wolves at bay. We're good for the month, we're good for next month. If we keep this up, every little bit helps. No one has to do anything. Also, don't forget to check out the links down below. And tomorrow we'll be playing some Skyrim and then doing a watch party afterwards. Oh, and this Friday we've got this Sunday. Sorry, we have Lush Gaming coming in. All right, how about some FOD? As if I'm not already super hungry. And yeah, I love me some omelet, so I this is why I picked it. Anything with Alvin. Now, I've made the story about the 14 egg omelet. So how many are we looking at here? Yeah, look at it. Oh my god.
Hello there, welcome back to another episode of Anything with Alvin. Today we'll be making the giant 60 egg omelet found in
60 eggs.
A lot of Korean street markets. This is a version of keramari, or a simple egg rolled omelet you can serve as a side dish, but I think the street vendors make a large size just to make sure that it can be a spectacle as well as serve a lot of people. Anyways, it sounds like a lot of fun, so here we go.
Or me when I'm on a bender and I'm feeling really depressed and I've just let myself go. I'm like, fuck it, I'll take an entire chicken farm's worth of eggs and the world's biggest skillet. I'll be here a while.
I want to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this episode and supporting
blah, 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 blah,
Cleared
blah.
your feedback about everything
Yeah.
order by visiting squarespace.com.
Now the part that's most exciting to me about this kind of omelet is that there's a lot of mix-ins. A whole bunch of things that should add some really nice flavor.
Do I look like someone who tosses their salad? Yes, you do. You also look like someone who works tossing salad.
Like a carrot, which we're gonna first go ahead and peel the skin off of.
One is a job, the other is a hobby.
About 8 ounces, small diced. Once the ham is divided up nice and good, we're gonna take those peeled carrots from earlier and chop them up into small bits as well. I'm not looking for a super even cut here. I just kind of want to get them roughly in the same shape since they're gonna go on the same omelet. Now it looks like in the video that they also seem to use imitation crab, which could add a nice seafoody flavor to this omelet. So we have 8 ounces.
I wouldn't use the crab.
That we're also gonna chop up into small little.
I'm not against crab. I love crab. I'll be mostly eating seafood this week again. But I don't think what an omelet and crab. I've always preferred more like chicken or bacon, ham. But he's adding ham anyway, so that's not so bad. I don't think I've ever made a beef omelet. I wonder if venison would be good. A venison omelet. Get yourself some like venison bacon, deer bacon, and then or like a bit of gammon, and then just like slice it up. I can eat in 50 minutes. I can survive.
Another ingredient that should be pretty flavorful to go in this omelet is red onion. One large one to be exact. You don't see me, but I'm tearing up off screen. And hey, look at our little mise en place in a little bowl here. Kind of looks like a 7-layer dip, except it's not that many layers, and if you ate this, you would probably not feel too good right now. Last but not least, it seems like scallion is a very major ingredient in this omelet. So we're going to take
Baker leaf
entire
scallion.
bunches of scallions and slice them up into little bits. Now that our toppings are ready, let's move on to the eggs. In one of the biggest bowls we have in the studio, we're going to go ahead and crack in all 60 eggs that we have acquired from the store.
I had to throw out my wok after many fine years of service. It just fell apart. Rip to the wok.
Cracking a lot of eggs, as we've done many times on the show, we'd like to play a little game here in the studio. We take one egg in the left hand, one egg in the right hand, and we crack them together instead of on the table. The winner gets to stay. The loser gets emptied into the bowl. I try to play this game as long as I can to see what the largest winning streak is. Therefore, we'll determine the apex egg out of all 60. So far, the record has not gone above an 8-win streak record over the other eggs. It seems like after 8, the integrity of the shell has taken too much of the beating, and the loser must be replaced by a new king. Anyways, once we have cracked all 60 eggs into the bowl, we're going to go ahead and season them. 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of MSG. It would add really nice flavor into this omelet. Instead of whisking
An Asian guy throwing MSG into food. I've never heard of such a thing. What's next? Italians with tomato sauce?
this by hand, I choose to opt for an immersion blender. And
Yeah, I'd do the same if I had it.
Little mixed chunky bits.
Although it is fun. That would be a lot of fun just to get a whisk, turn it at the right angle, go blip 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 blip. I'll be here a while.
Get by using a fork or a whisk, and it's just really satisfying to see all those yolks break and come together in one smooth yellow.
Yeah.
Like orange juice.
No spill.
Mix-ins and go ahead and mix this until everything seems to be evenly divided. So in the video, these street vendors and stalls seem to have large flat tops or setups to cook a large amount of eggs. Luckily in the studio, we have a nice cast iron flat top that should be beautiful for this occasion. To get this ready, it has 2 burners underneath, preheating it at a medium to medium low heat. Then we're going to go ahead and drizzle some oil over it just to make sure that the eggs don't stick. Now because this grill is slightly tilted and has a little divot on one side to catch some extra stuff, we're going to have to manually tilt this and rotate this to try to get as much of an even coverage as possible. In order to roll this like they do in the video, I'm going to go ahead and use 2 spatulas to tightly tuck in the edge and roll this forward all the way to the other side. Once the roll has reached its finish line,
Did he say what temperature?
Pull the entire thing back, oil the rest of that space up, and repeat. Ladling down some more egg mixture on top, trying to evenly coat it, cook it, flip the burner, manage the heat, fill in any gaps, and repeat the process once more. Now it seems easy, but it's quite tricky. For one, the heat seems to always stick towards one side of the burner, which means I always have to rotate to make sure that the other side is fully cooked. 2, those toppings don't really spread as evenly as in the video, but I have to manually try to divide it so that we don't...
I think I would have made those toppings more thinner then, more like leaner. Finer, that's the word I was looking for. Finer.
End up with huge chunks of lumps in our omelet at the end. And 3, in this little divot on the side, there's a lot of egg collecting there that can eventually be rolled into the final omelet. So we'll have to eventually find out a use for that, but we make sure that that won't go to waste. After repeating this at least 5 or 6 times, we have used up our entire egg mixture, and we have created a rather thick and rotund omelet, rolled with many layers and fillings inside. Now this giant omelet
not as good as the other guys. You failed.
Is going to be carefully transferred off the
drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it.
Which we're going to rest it on and make sure that the shape is kept evenly by cooling it with some foil and some wedges on the side. After about 30 minutes or so, the hot egg is now cooled to a nice room temperature. We're going to go ahead and trim the edges for scraps and place them in the same bowl that we got the scraps from the flat top. Now that our giant omelet has been cleaned up, let's cut a nice thick slice and show you guys a little bit of the inside and the cross section. 1 inch should do. That is pretty cool. Now,
that is a chunk. If you told me that was an omelet, I'd be like, ow.
Usually in Korean culture, this is not always eaten warm. Oftentimes it's served as a cold side dish, which can be pretty delicious in many applications compared to Western omelets that usually are eaten hot. Now noticing how big and thick this slice is reminded me that this actually might be perfect for milk bread to make an egg sandwich. So we have some milk bread here after we put down some...
I love everything in this dish. And yeah, I don't know if I'd love this milk sandwich.
Each side, we lay down our giant circular portion
Sideways.
of eggs. Go ahead and give this a taste. Oh, that is very delicious. There's so much.
I would have skipped the bread part and just thrown in the cheese in with the mix, like melted some cheese in with it until it was like so creamy.
Texture going on. A lot of flavor from the ham, the onion, the carrots, a little bit of sugar, the scallions.
I'd try this in a heartbeat, and I'm not saying that because I'm hungry.
Healthy. Here's some footage of us excavating that nice little cook divot of those layered bits of egg, just collecting in that little dam on the side of the flat top. Pretty satisfying. And instead of throwing that away, even though they're really overcooked on the grill, we're gonna dump all that on our work surface, use a bench scraper to kind of chop them up into little bits. And now this kind of reminds me of egg salad. So we're gonna go ahead and add a nice healthy portion of QP mayo and some black pepper, mix that together.
Oh, holy shit, that's a Cobes level of mayonnaise.
Quick version of an egg salad sandwich that will also go perfectly with our milk bread.
The sandwich I was compared to once,
spread that out,
a long time
a
ago.
little slice on top,
and yet I'd be okay with this.
Typical egg salad sandwich, a little bit more on the texture
I don't
side,
know.
but hopefully a lot more flavorful. And yes, this was very good. Now, since we made so much food, it would only be fair to make sure that everybody has some of this deliciousness to take home.
Damn right.
Hard work. You continue to make this show possible.
I love the little boxes.
Working with you once more.
Thanks again to Squarespace for sponsoring today's.
That was cool. I like that. So much effort though. Just make a bunch. Just have somebody sitting at the kitchen table, at the hob, with the pan and an endless supply of eggs and ingredients. I'll do this, and I'll just churn them out as factories. I'll make one plain, one ham, one veggie, one cheese. Repeat. Blah, 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 blah. Actually, no, one of everything. Then everyone tries a bit and says, could you give me one that is A and B? And then I'll start making them exclusively for them that round, so on and so forth. And at the end of it, I don't know. I'd have one left all over for myself. Each one would give me. Seems like they're getting the better deal, and they are, but I mean, if you're gonna be the chef, you know? Takes a different type of strength. Oh, it's Fredo again. Okay. Boop. Oh, damn.
I take your whole bucket. What do you do about it?
Well, considering the fact that you're not supposed to be able to do that, and you sound like you know how to tame a dragon, I'm gonna just offer to get the door for you, fam, okay? For rock and stone.
Big man. There we are again. More Philip DeFranco, but I can't watch him. Oh, Walter uploaded something. But oh, it's the Russell Greer stuff. I'm not going to show Russell Greer here because it's very long. It's a very long story. He basically sued Taylor Swift. But yeah, this is new, or rather, we haven't watched it before. Nice guys from Reddit. I'm going to the party.
Hey everyone, this is Walter, and I'm back with more posts.
Hi Walter. Thank you for letting me steal your stuff.
The nice guys, men who are convinced that they're the nicest person that you'll ever meet. But when the nice guy loses his patience, the devil shivers. Let's get into it with nice guys from Reddit. These posts come to us from Reddit Nice Guys. It's does. You're still.
Okay, before we do this, we'll do. I just want to see this. Oh, it's Fredo again? No. Watch this, then we'll watch this.
Young and dumb, and live in the city, which is usually a pretty big indicator of people who don't really know much about the real world. But hey,
Yes, not dealing with people, but with dealing with people is, God, my brain is just suet right now with no food. And of course all I'm thinking about is food. Fucking suet. Watching a whole video on an omelette. Christ. Yeah, Yeah, like if you're going to go and if you're going to go and live in a city, there's a good chance you actually know people better than you do out in the countryside. Now, if you're going to say, oh, you live out in the city, you don't know where your food comes from, that's valid. A lot of people don't.
Comfortably say that 95% of women get to like late 20s and early 30s and start being biologically drawn to real men. Not boys. The kind of guys you were talking about are boys. There's nothing wrong with liking them at your age, but trust me, your taste in men will change a lot when you get older. And it's not toxic.
Most women, when they're teenagers, want someone who makes them feel comfortable. Whatever that is the individual woman. Later on in life, it's the exact same thing. But now there's new caveats. So yeah, he's right in one respect. The woman who still like the woman who still finds attractive the like the same guy she did as a teenager is the type of woman who that South Park nice meme was made about, aka a no-no person who needs to be on a list.
Masculinity. It's just masculinity. Masculinity and strong males are the backbone of societies. That's not just my opinion. That's
It's
fact.
fact.
It's writing in every study or piece of literature about thriving societies ever. There's a distinct lack of real men these days. And that's
Based
why
in
there's a lot of
where?
fucked shit going
Aren't
on.
you a real man?
That's good.
Because, you know, you're complaining. Real men complain. No, wait, no. Real men do, don't you? You're not doing anything. You're complaining.
Got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Men do have to be strong, mentally, physically, and emotionally. No, they don't. That's our biological job and role in society. And what do women have to be?
Men can be whatever the fuck they want to be, and women can be whatever the fuck they want to be. We live in the West.
Well, it depends if you're talking about, like, biological roles, or women nowadays can do whatever they want. There's no such thing as biological roles. I don't think you understand. So can men. What do you mean? Yes, there is. What's a biological role? I personally consider going on about how logical you are to be a red flag, because guys who do that tend to be some of the most emotional men in reality. I guess we'll...
Also, people usually who are autistic or have other issues that they don't quite, like, realize are an issue. I'm actually quite smart. I can think of someone with a beanie, glasses right now, who might fill that role. But, like, yeah, you don't need to, like, every once in a while I'll talk to someone and they'll just casually mention the fact that I know a few things about history. I'm like, oh, thank you for noticing. It means you were paying fucking attention. I'm not a fucking historian. I'm good at a skill. You want to also talk about Elder Scrolls lore? I like structure as well in a story. I like how I like a good paced story. And I know everyone says, "Oh, I do too." Everyone says that, but everyone has a different opinion on what that is. But they don't really, because it's still underneath it all at the same. It's hard to explain. That Fallout show that came out, I loved it, but the last 2 episodes were fucking dog shit in terms of how they were paced.
see if this one remains logical. I seriously think you should do some reading. You have the logical knowledge of a brick.
Logical.
Get out of your
logic.
You'll just be
Facts
unhappy.
and logic.
You'll cuss me out now, but 30-year-old you will know I'm right. Or you'll just be a sad, lonely, middle-aged woman.
30-year-old you won't remember this conversation. And you are either 30 or you'll be dead by then, probably by suicide.
I couldn't care less. If you couldn't care less, then why are you texting me here?
And then a massive response.
People like you
Yay!
are so wrong. They see the world through a narrow, manipulated,
I couldn't care less.
educated lens that it legit gives me chest pains trying to talk to you.
It's the same logic as Shani and doing that to Rev. Like, I don't want to be here, then don't be there. I don't want to say these things. Yes, you are. You are saying them. Just admit these things to yourself. If I didn't want to stream today, I wouldn't stream today. If I didn't want to stream tomorrow, I wouldn't stream tomorrow. I want to stream. If I wanted to go on a bender tomorrow, I'd have to deal with the consequences, but I could do it. If I wanted to go and cancel the American trip, I could do that. If I wanted to go and shave myself, even my eyebrows, I could do that. I have to deal with consequences. But you're allowed to do these things. Oh my God, Jordan Peterson, I saw that. Oh no.
But I know if people like you don't hear sense sometime, you'll never change.
Jordan
Honestly, I'm done with
Peterson
this
sobs
but if you do just
and
one
like
thing,
breaks
why
down
choose
at
Jordan
nothing.
Peterson? You're being lied to by so many people and systems.
Like Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, Nick Fuentes, the Yes podcast or whatever the fuck it is. There's Tim Pool. It isn't just even if they're right wingers. There's like a lot of people on the left who are like, they're just calm your fucking tits and talk like a real person for 5 seconds.
I feel like he never even came close to defining what he thinks a real man is.
Yep.
People like you are so wrong and see the world through such a narrow, manipulated, twisted, and uneducated lens. Whereas I, a very stable genius, get all my information from such intellectual luminaries as Jordan Chinese cum milker Peterson,
Yep.
and Andrew having sex with women is gay Tate. Men have to be XYZ.
Oh, Andrew Tate, I saw, he's not going to be brought over to the UK quite yet because his court case is going through in Romania first. They're taking first swipes at him before he can go back to the UK to get bombasted again. But no matter what happens in Romania, he's still now being brought back out after. So I'm wondering how that's going to go down. Are they going to agree on a timeshare thing? Are they going to have... Is it going to be like a court-issued kid? Like parents getting a chance to see the kid every weekend? Yeah, every other day he gets flown over to spend the time in another prison cell.
You have a narrow point of view.
Maybe they'll drop him off in
Oh,
Austria.
I guess when she blocked him, he immediately started messaging her on Tinder. I thought he was done with the conversation. It's almost like you can't trust anything this guy says.
Nope.
Along with everything else this guy gets wrong, somehow living in cities is not the real world. More than half the global population, and around 80% of the US population, 75% in the EU, live in urban areas. Nothing more real than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, saying cities aren't the real world is very puzzling, even for someone like this. Next, we have a two-part post about a guy wanting to go to a party.
It'd be better if he said, like, living in a city isn't healthy. That's a more honest take. But it's the real world. It has its own needs and wants, and, like, what city, what level of wealth, what level of safety, what level of, like, rent, what level of ease of access of food, of clean water. You know, you could say the exact same thing about being out in the countryside. Or stranded at sea.
Hey, I just wanted to apologize straightforward for all the bullshit I put you through. I'm sorry for the threats I made, and I'm sorry that I made the distance between you and Blank further than it has ever been. I think we can all admit we are all in the wrong in some aspects. Some foul shit has been said and done between us. I just want you to know, that isn't permanently how I'm going to see you. I have tried to take everything from the past and toss it behind me.
Eric Massa. Oh, great. Hey, Massa. Mango is a star. She is a dream. And we had a lot of fun getting drunk on that Wednesday night. So much so, I don't think we finished a single video. I think we just went into, like, spurgy rambling. But yeah, you're welcome here anytime. We're currently watching Nice Guys from Reddit from Fatal Walter. And then I'm just going through, like, I've got a big backlog of stuff, and this is the second day of it. I've also haven't eaten anything all day, so but that'll change in less than half an hour. Oh, so close.
And a little while ago, I reached the point where I don't think about the things that once bothered me. There are a lot of things that I know.
Always good to see a text wall, isn't it?
Rude, but I think it's best for all of us if you don't come to my 420 party tomorrow. I don't think myself or my homies are ready, and I know there will be unnecessary conflict, and I'd like to avoid that. Thanks for understanding, and sorry. I'm sorry, but the invite says leave the drama at home. I'm going. It is a public...
Dude. Well, it is a public place, but what are you gonna do? Sit with them? The staff can just ask you to leave. Like, they can just tell the staff to tell you to leave. You don't get to, like, just invade their privacy. And if it's a public place like a
I'm
park,
going to be there. If it was a house
they
party,
can just
I'd
move.
understand. Oh, so he would be willing to not break into someone's house? That's nice of him. Imagine if no one wanted you at a party and you're just like, oh well, I'm gonna show up anyway. Like, why?
Oh god, I was actually at a house party when someone tried that once. There was an ex and they were told they can't come, and they came in the front door and just looked around, and everyone kind of like stared at him, and he just kind of like, after half an hour, he just left. He realized, what was he gonna do? What was his game plan when he got in through the door? He was just gonna create some hassle. That's all he was gonna do. So they didn't even bother to bar him in. Let's just walk in and see what's going on. Thing is, his girlfriend, he didn't even say a single word to him. Well, his ex-girlfriend at that point. She was busy, like, just in another room. And I think maybe he thought like it was a fake thing, or like she was hooking up with somebody. And when she saw this staggering amount of people, I just kind of clicked that he done fucked up.
But it's not. Not trying to start shit. I have no reason to talk to any of them.
Yes,
I will
you are.
pretend they aren't there.
No.
Just know if they start some, I will protect myself. It's my party. I'm asking you not to come. It's really disrespectful for you to pull up, and if you do, you will be kicked out. I'm sorry. You owe me one after what you did.
No.
You can't just pull this night before after telling blank I can go until blank comes. So I'm going. Kick me out and see what happens. Leave the beef at home. I have hella friends going. Let me enjoy my 420 in peace. God, it
Hella.
almost sounds like he's the one not
Hella. Gotta love the hella.
letting people enjoy their 420 in peace.
Hella cool.
What a delusional asshole already. I did not say that ever. I said blank could come and that was it. This is my party. I put the effort into this. I am setting boundaries and you're being beyond disrespectful.
Now you just have to go to his friend.
No, you told
who he's
blank
got to
it wasn't a
use.
good idea for me to
Yeah,
come.
he's got to be coming in as a +1. If one person is backing him up in the sense of like, oh yeah, sure, come along, and then they're like, hey, so this is what he said. Is that cool with you? Most people would look at this and be like, no. Fuck no. Like, I'll go and talk to him. Tell him I feel comfortable with him coming either. Like, dogpile the motherfucker if you have to. Not physically. But, you know, just show him that this is, he is now to be banished from the village with sticks and stones. Pure ostracization. Oh, God, my brain rot is... Words. Can I have some words, please? Good words, strong words. Badly made fanfare noises. That's Mr. Weeble on his homemade electric kazoo.
But I couldn't tell blank.
Actually thinking of the Quizquisition from the Inquisition.
I'm not going to bother you guys. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I know what I said. This is my party and you are not coming. But if you want to stop me from going, I can pull the same card you pulled on me.
Which is?
This apology did not mean anything to you then, did it? You were disrespecting my boundaries and I will not tolerate that. I do apologize, but if you want to disrespect
you don't know what the word
boundaries
means.
from allowing me to come to a party that's on everyone's story, I am asking you politely to not show up for your safety and for my own goddamn sake. Not inviting this guy to a party is disrespecting his boundaries, apparently. Spoken like a true loser, I suppose.
Lucas!
I don't fuck with that at all.
Like Lucas Werner, who Walter has massive beef with, he feels like ostracized and like insulted that he's not invited out to big parties with like 20-somethings teenagers. He's like in his 40s and homeless, and he's just not invited out, and he's like, why do you all get to go when I can't? Because you're poor, you have no money, and you know, this is for friends roughly about the same age who find each other attractive while you obsess over underage girls. But at that point, I'd be like, why am I still friends with you?
It's literally my fucking party. I don't care who posted it. I'm the host. It's a public place. If you want to control who comes, have a party at a house. Blank ain't gonna stop me. If you want to play stupid games, you can win some stupid prizes. Leave the beef at home. If I go, I will leave the beef at home.
Oh, if it's a public place, then you'll get less done if you just smack him across the face. Alright, now I change it. Actually dogpile him.
I'll send more problems. Snitches get stitches. At this point,
At least you know who Lucas is. God, I've learned so much through Lucas. And Lucas, like, can't stand Walter. When we had Walter on, he showed, like, some footage of, like, Lucas wandering around, I think, Spokane. And he's just screaming about Walter. But a week later, a few days later, he was wandering around screaming about the liars and the phonies and all that good Lucas Werner shit. You know, all the stuff that got him strapped to a gurney, screaming about everyone being ageist. I wonder if he'll ever make his.
Committed to becoming an episode of When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong. Me and Blank are a package deal. If I'm not coming, she's not going.
I wonder if he'll ever make his board game where Poop is a mechanic and you can gain special powers by going back in time and having sex with your underage predecessor to promote telomeres. You know, if Lucas wasn't so lazy, I could imagine he would go down a Daniel Larson sort of route.
Just saw the other side of this on your other post, and yikes.
Oh, Walter, alright, sorry. Fatal Walter is a guy, he just reads stuff off Reddit. He's currently going through Russell Greer's book. Here's the thing on, seeing that you know who he is, we can watch the writings of Lucas Werner after that. Lucas is kind of falling out of the zeitgeist right now. People don't really remember much about him. He also has a side channel where he does he like reviews old To Catch a Predator stuff and like shows like that. But yeah, we can watch we can watch this afterwards. I've got nothing but time. Although in 20 minutes I am getting that fucking bowl of cereal. My God. I have never wanted some off-brand Cheerios so badly.
But I gotta admit,
Let's
I love
get
how
some
you
coffee
not
as
allowing
well.
him to come to a party is you disrespecting his boundary just because a bunch of people will be posting it. Also, is he threatening to not allow your sister or a friend to come if he doesn't? What a nightmare. Unsurprising you were looking into restraining orders. Yes.
Rather people have to deal with Warren's crackpot. Yeah. We had a few years ago. We had a girl on by the name of was it Ali Dean, the human being, and she for the longest time she's moved completely out of the area. She lived in Spokane, and she didn't want anyone to know. Like I said, this is years ago now, so I'm hardly doxing her. Because she was terrified that Lucas would start like sliding in. Because of osmosis, 6 degrees of separation, there was a chance Lucas would find out about her. And that's really cool there, Troy. About time.
Even stopped talking because he came between our friendship. I wish I could compress everything he did into one post. But that is genuinely impossible. He's threatened to ruin my life countless of times.
With the whole package jar with the Onion Boy case. The one that stood out to me, of course, was the one that doomed the show with the counselor or the alderman who went back to his house afterwards and shot himself. That ruined the guy from To Catch a Predator. Went after Onision. But yeah, like there was a lot of I'm blanking on the name because I haven't eaten all day, and because my brain is mostly made out of sponge. There, I didn't use a food analogy. But there was a few that stood out that I absolutely adored. Back in the day, I used to hang out with Ryby Jenkins on a Rabbit, and we would watch the whole thing of To Catch a Predator. And probably the one that stuck out to me more recently was the one with the weird pizza order, and he had like no idea. Like the guy had no idea about who like what was happening, and when he realized he was on TV and shit like that, he still didn't give a fuck. Like some of these guys just they didn't care. Others were like, no, 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 I need to see her. I need to see, because there were cops in that building as well as outside it. The whole place was riddled with police. I'm actually surprised there was never a case where he just tried to like physically attack him.
Hype about him.
Like from Boondocks.
An internet tough guy, but I think me and this guy would have some fucking physical issues if this was the situation and he acted like this. Let's read a few more comments and then there's the sequel, I think. Is there hype about him? For what? Sucks about your sister though. Hopefully one day she leaves him and y'all can start to recover your relationship.
These all sound really young. A lot of these people in these videos, they sound really young.
My sister just loves him so much, and I don't understand why after everything he's done to hurt both of us. I love her very much, and I can't force her to break up with someone. All I can do is hope she sees
He probably just has a colossal hog and can score weed. That's it.
His behavior and finally gets tired of it. I know she is, but he can be really scary. He doesn't get his way. This and much worse will come out of it. He's a piss baby who throws a temper tantrum when he doesn't get his way and doesn't care who's involved.
Sounds it.
Well, let's see what happened after this exchange. It's blank. I just want to sort shit out. I don't want any issues. I know I was immature as fuck about the party, and I'm sorry. It was your party, and I understand now. Sometimes things don't process for me in the moment. I think we really should talk and get rid of these hard feelings that we still clearly have for each other.
Buddy, stop.
I just want it to be at least neutral.
Stop.
I want to see the new
It's
blank
not
we're talking
happening.
about. Nothing? So it's clear you don't even want to try, I guess? Hello? Can you say something? Do you even care?
I love the whimsical background emotes floating around. Really adds to the birth of a stalker arc.
You're fucked up for not saying
There we
anything.
are. Yeah.
You're simply showing you don't care.
Well, off
Blank
text.
feels stuck in the middle, and she doesn't know what to fucking do. You're putting her in an uncomfortable spot by not responding when I'm trying to fix shit. Silence is only going to cause more problems in the long run. I give up fast. I have little patience. Is it just me, or does everything...
Finger 6 degrees. I know what bus route leads into Onion Boy's town. Assuming he moved again. Did he ever build on that wetland? I'm assuming we're talking about Onision. Last time I ever saw anything about Onision proper was when Billy the Fridge, after the court case, he went out with Joe Wisdom, scumbag, and their camera guy at the time, and they went out and like tried to talk to him outside of his door, and he came out and he just acted like so unhinged around Billy. He started like humping his leg. It was so fucking weird. And if we're talking about the other Onion Boy, King Cobra, well, that onion didn't work, did it? He's still bald as fuck.
Sound vaguely like a threat? At this point, it's pretty funny watching him get all pissed.
I showed you my dick, please answer me.
I know you are active. You can open my messages. Don't be shy. Nice job.
Digging your grave deeper.
Hey, buddy. You don't need a restraining order. I don't want to talk to you anyways. Hey, I just sent you a couple dozen desperate messages. I didn't actually want to talk to you. Yeah, that checks out. You don't need to restrain me from something I don't want anything to do with.
Why wouldn't anyone want this clearly sane and stable person to come to their party where there be drugs?
Good job giving me this chance, because Blank can really see how genuine you are.
Yeah.
Your fake ass lies. saying how you want to hang out with both of us.
I actually haven't thought of
You
Onision in a
don't
long
give a
while.
fuck. Nice job.
Much
burning
like
Mark.
Lucas, very slowly, Onision is fading into the obscurity of the internet for a lot of people, especially younger people. Hell, he's been replaced by Leafy, and Leafy's peaked a while ago. Also a friend of Billy the Fridge, just saying.
To be good at that. This guy looks pathetic to me. Tries to go to a party no one wants him at and then gets ghosted afterwards.
Yeah.
It's a wonder why no one likes him if he's this hyped.
Hi, Lucas. Soon.
I know I was really immature about your party. Now watch me be immature about everything else. You're fucked up for making me face accountability for my shit behavior. I'm not even sure this guy counts as a nice guy from the posts, but I do find him really annoying.
I think there should be like videos out there of like down the rabbit hole, and there is one of Onision if I remember right. And there probably will be one of Leafy down the line too. Or stuff like the Chris Chan documentary. Ooh, a lot of people want that to end because the guy who makes it is so good at making the documentary. They want him to move on to more like healthier or noble pursuits. But I do think people like Chris Chan, Cobes, Rev and Shani, Vorn Helton, whoever, I think all these trolls, or at least most of them, I think we could live without Jared Genesis. Most of them, like, they deserve memories, and that's why like podcasts, like say the Drunken Peasants or mine, Bearded Ramblings, come in, because like you find people that just they lived, and sometimes they made a huge impact. It might not even be for the best, but they made an impact, and that is at least worthy enough to put like a giant magnifying glass. Might not like what you see, but you can still register it. Somewhere right now there is a guy trying to name and find the genealogy of every strange little bug in a glass of water. And like there's probably like 40,000 of them. He'll file them away in a book somewhere, and almost certainly no one will give a flying fuck. But to him, it mattered, and to the wider community science thing, mattered just a smidge. Someone has to record all this. One day we will be dust, and not even dreams.
So good enough. Is this your
Archivism, yes. Just
so curious to know
oh
what he did that
yeah.
got him uninvited
No
in the
more
first
pay
place?
pigs. No more sycophants. No more defenders. Hey, maybe Onision wasn't so bad. Maybe, oh god, all those incels who are obsessed over like the Supreme Gentleman. Walter often shows. He showed Dylan Mulvaney's manifesto. He's read it out, not like in defense, but rather like this is what he thought. This is what he thought. Or that one who was obsessed with Danny Phantom, and they ended up like it was a giant call for help. Marshall Mathers is another person. Like that's not going to end well. We've had your favorite son on the show a few times, and like he told me one time, "Oh, now that I've done with Cobes, I want to do an interview with Marshall Mathers," and I'm like, "Why? The guy is beyond terrifying. He's going to kill someone." And like, son was saying, "Yeah, he gives that vibe, but I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Can he be really that bad?" Apparently, they had a 7-day thing planned. They could last 3 hours with him at most. Only 1 hour when it was just him out in the park. They had to like run away. They just had to run away. Because he was so scary. Like he was so fucking terrifying. That he's exactly what he says in the tin. So you look at, like I was saying earlier, you look at Cyrax, you can tell something's a bit off, something's a bit wrong. And then you find out all the lore about Cyrax. And it is unfortunately one of those cases where, you know, you do read a book by the cover.
He threatened to ruin my life while being intoxicated on cough syrup. told my sister she has to choose between us.
Telomere
and chose
thing.
to contact me through her
Warren
social
used it from the study came from the Philippines being half Filipino. Mine must be superior to his. Hey, he does think that there should it should be mandatory for older white men to get with younger women from different races to produce superior children, and then the white men, the half children, the mixed race kids, if there's men, then they should get with white women. It won't even end racism. He just thinks they'll be like smarter and healthier and all this shit. And all I'm thinking of is, dude, what you're describing is like chronology level bullshit.
media. After asking to be left alone countless of times.
Didn't he like phrenology for a little bit?
But I think you get the
I'm
point.
just picturing him with
Yikes,
the
so
head
frustrating.
and the
Siblings would have
tweezers.
loser. My sister found her husband hiding a
Eugenics,
secret cell phone
motherfucker.
Not once, not twice, but 3 times, and she still didn't believe he was actively cheating on her. Thank God he eventually got tired of waiting for her to get fed up with catching him and just filed for divorce himself. Sounds cold of me, but she remarried and is 1,000 times happier now. I feel like we
Good.
still haven't seen enough red flags. So it's time for a very recent post from the Wern.
Yay!
I haven't been in a real relationship in 13 years. You're damn right I'm not trying to fuck up, but if you expect perfection from
Oh, it's been longer than 13 years.
an imperfect being, you're perfectly entitled to walk out that door.
It's been a dry spell.
Because you know, there's a lot of these
Oh, Lucas always goes on about who makes worse food hacks? Lucas Werner or King Cobra? Because, like, Lucas just makes these mounds of grease and says, this is delicious. And I'm also thinking, like, does he fuck those things as well? Now we need to... look, Fish Tank tried to get King Cobra. They failed. Why not try to get Lucas? Now that would be a much... He'd accept sandwiches.
empathy for themselves. I won't even bat an eye. I'll be sad to see you go, but I won't dwell on it long. There's a billion people who wouldn't walk the other way. All I need is one. I don't...
They don't know who
I'm
you
not
are and they don't
abusive.
care.
I'm funny. I bring a certain refreshing honesty
If
to the relationship.
Lucas was rich, he would he'd be one of those guys we watched on Sunday who was obsessed with like the pod houses with their questionably aged Asian wife or girlfriend, and like they're libertarian and they want to create an ethno state so they can fuck their questionably aged Asian wife, like, or African wife, or Hispanic wife, or Arab wife. The point is that, like, or like Eastern European. Point is, there's a power dynamic that's based along race, and yeah. Also, I also love that every single one of these women who end up with them, they either leave them when the money's gone, or even long before the money's gone, they look so unhappy all the time. Some days I feel like sort of inverse of these cows, despite being very similar demographic. Cows serve a very important role, whether they be a positive cow, like say Gail Cord Schuler, except for Brent Spiner, who is terrified of her, and rightly so. Or a negative one, which is the vast majority of cows. They kind of make us look at them and go, oh, things aren't so bad. Like, I find Cobes fascinating, and I know Mango does too, because there by the grace of God walk I, you know? I'm an Aspie. I'm autistic. I'm on the spectrum. and I have many of the same habits and many of the same issues as Cobes does, but his is pushed to 11. Even what I'm doing now, like the way I'm looking off screen, that's autism right there. I'm not looking at a script. I'm not looking at anything. I'm just looking off screen because I can't look at the eyes, the camera too much because it reminds me of eyes, and then I just can't look someone in the eye for too long. But Coles will use it as a defense for all his bad decisions, all his terrible opinions, and yet he'll still like expect people then to give him a pass. He's digging his own grave doing that. But I've said enough on Cobes for a lifetime, especially when I'm drinking. When he's settled into his new place, we gotta watch one of his live streams where he's just sitting at his chair. I don't need alcohol to have a good time. It is true though, autistic people are very prone to alcoholism. Even South Park knew that.
I'm also not going to force you to name 3 metal bands if I see you
I
wearing
got
a
through
heavy
college.
metal t-shirt. Or to get really, really drunk in order for you to fuck me just because you're a woman and my entire male existence is locker room. But I'm not
stigma.
perfect. We will probably have
On the spectrum here, I got my diagnosis late, raised in... Oh, okay, so... Yeah, you wouldn't have... I was the opposite. I got mine really early on in Ireland by... I'm Irish. By the woman who wrote the government... basically the guide on how to deal with autistic kids for like a uniquely Irish perspective. Before that, everyone kind of was getting an idea that there was something wrong with me. I couldn't focus on in class. I couldn't understand certain things. I'd take things too literally. Other things I couldn't really handle. I wouldn't make friends even though people were trying to be friendly. I would try to be friendly to people who didn't want to have time with me. It would just, there'd be hundreds, and like I would obsess over particular topics. For me, it's history. But like with Cobes, I thought with him it was Ozzy Osbourne, but he can't even name 5 songs. That is so fucking weird. So if it's not that maybe he's obsessed with like the people who hurt him, because he won't shut up about things that happened when he was in school. Now that is a feedback loop that would explain so much. Ooh.
If you can say you're interested, then you're perfect. If you're good looking and can have an interesting conversation with me, I'm but a simple man. If there's a billion people who find Lucas acceptable, it's kind of weird how he's been single and actively searching for 13 years now.
Yep.
This guy says he's not abusive, but he does have a domestic violence charge. It's from 2012, but also it's from the last relationship he was in, so keep that in mind.
Like Lucas doesn't even take his meds anymore. He looks disheveled and broken and sad. Then someone cleans him up, probably the homeless shelter. They try to help him out. Then he just ends up becoming disheveled again. On the brief period I was homeless, keeping clean was the hardest thing of all. Oh my god, the smell.
I'd probably buy you sushi on our first date if I
He is obsessed.
found you to be the lady I'd want. If you don't like that, everyone likes pizza.
He's obsessed with sushi.
I'm the type of person that will walk up to the store for you to buy you a snack if you send me because you're in a wheelchair with an amputated foot and can't make it. It's no big deal.
Oh my god. When I was in America one time, I was in a mall getting a sandwich at like the food court, and a woman behind me tapped me on the lower me back, and it was a very strange thing. I turned around and she was in a wheelchair, and she asked for basically the same thing. She wanted help just to pick it out. I didn't think about that until now. And here's Lucas flexing with his own version of it, if it even really happened. For all I know, he saw it happening from a third person, from like a third party. Dude. I hope whoever she was, I hope she's doing alright. She was lovely. Yeah, like, weird.
You're struggling. I get it. It's not a problem in the least. I'm tired of theists saying atheists are evil. I'm not saying Lucas Werner is evil, but I will say that he only ever does anything in the interest of getting laid.
Yes. He also, he's not evil, he's mentally unwell. And it makes him do things that are dangerous, especially to other people. But, you know, at the same time, I can't call him evil. Sick. He's just sick. My obsession, games and game mechanics. Hell yeah. We're playing Skyrim tomorrow on this channel. And then I'll be over on Twitch to do, I'll be doing Final Fantasy, Far Cry 3, and over the next, until Sunday. Until Final Fantasy 10, Far Cry 3, The Two Towers. No, Shadow of War. Or Shadow of Mordor, I should say. Very Ubisoft-based thing going on this week, it seems. I think we're going to drop Assassin's Creed Revelation. The glitch is very complicated to get rid of. But then we're back here on Sunday. Anyway. Oh, it's after midnight. Yay, once this is done, I'm going to get my food, and then we can, I'll pop on this.
Even things that seem like genuine interest, like board games, it's still an attempt to get laid somehow.
Yep.
This last one is from Reddit Just Neckbeard Things. This idea that marrying young is some kind of insanity, that regular normal men who desire younger girls are somehow insane and sick horrible monsters is just insane and very recent. Insane and sick horrible monsters? This guy's setting up a straw man here. I just think it's creepy to exclusively go after much younger women.
It's very telling. You're going after much younger women because you have the power of them, the intelligence, the life experience. Maybe they also don't have like the issues that you are unequipped to deal with, like maybe prior relationships or whatever, kids. There's no guarantee none of these happen. As for me, like, I've always said this, you want to know if you actually could date someone much younger than you? Talk to one. And very quickly you'll be like, holy shit, no, there is a divide here. Because they'll be talking about, let's say they're like just entering college, and you're my age, like 36. Holy fuck, the noise that comes out of these people's mouths. Like, it's the most asinine shit. But you were there when you were in your 20s. Because you were speaking asinine shit. You might still be speaking asinine shit. But you can't go back to your 20s. And fucking somebody who's much younger than you is not going to change the fact that you're divorced, have a bad back, and in debt, you know?
Today, it's completely okay to
You never wrote that novel.
Get breast implants and pump yourself full of hormones and prance around pretending to be a woman. That's totally cool.
It is totally cool.
Or having a 4-way orgy in a truck stop bathroom is also okie dokie, totally normal and cool.
Who are these people? Does he just watch porn and think that's real life? Like, newsflash, when women are getting fucked, they normally don't look at where the camera would be and like, oh, or doing the agago face. If I saw a woman actually doing that weird ass face, I would genuinely be scared she's having a fucking stroke.
But a normal man who likes young females is just
female.
Insane. Cut off his balls and burn him. He's a monster. Just shows you what kind of insane clown world we live in.
Being off meds, and I'll openly admit that my own fault for getting the refills. Yeah, and sometimes you do fall off your meds by accident. Like I'm not on meds. Never. If I ever needed them, I've never been prescribed them. Oh, I was briefly on a test case of Lusterol, and my fucking god, never again. They openly admit, like, yeah, okay, these aren't the right ones for you. I'm like, listen, I just need to work out what was going on in my head. But like, yeah, other people need to be on meds, and I do not like those people who try to romanticize staying off your meds and how like medication will take away the real you. The real you has an urge to cut themselves or other people because the voices in your head say so. Get on your fucking meds. Obviously different strokes for different folks, but my god, if you're prescribed meds, good chance you might need them. My roommate is epileptic. If he's not on his meds, like we all get a little bit worried, and not because like he's off them, but because maybe there's been a mix-up with his shit, and like the bus drive into town and shit like that. That we might be passing lots of like lights that are flickering, and he has to basically do this with his hat, or I have to sit like in front of him to stop the opposite window. It's dangerous. There's a reason you're on these fuckers. You don't see diabetics not taking their insulin. Being checked Hades of gameplay. Oh, I haven't played I haven't played the beta or whatever, the early access, but I loved Hades 1. And I normally can't stand games like that. The style, the easy to learn, hard to master mechanics, and how it's built to be replayed more and more. You can play it one loop and end it, but at that point, if it hasn't hooked you, then you probably still had a good time. But most people I know were just like, right back for round 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But sudden creeps ought to be teleported to Kamabaka Island in One Piece. Never could get into One Piece. The art style always put me off.
This is Sodom all over again. This world is upside down and backward in literally every way.
This person sounds like they're really fun at parties.
As far as marriage, biology, not some arbitrary age pulled out of a hat by some fat POS politician, has always been and should always be the determination of when a girl can marry. Allah created woman with a literal built-in clock.
Okay, a Muslim. Okay, I was actually thinking this person's very religious, but immediately then my mind goes, "Oh, this is some fundamentalist Christian shit." No, well, fundamentalist Muslim. I mean, they could also be Buddhists. They could also be Jains. They could also be Sikhs. You don't see that as much, but I guarantee you they exist. I'm sure there's some fucking animalists out there that get angry at like a woman wearing pants. I wonder if there's any Wicca out there who get pissed off at like women not fulfilling their biological role. My wrist is killing me. Oh. My family's very prone to arthritis, and I'm always worried, when is it going to start? So anytime I get like the slightest nerve tingle, I'm thinking, okay, here's the beginning of it.
To tell them when they're ready to get married and begin having sexual relations. First off, gross.
Yeah.
It's extremely young, obviously. Second, this guy went off about trans women for no reason in a completely unrelated post. They must live rent-free in his head, huh? This guy about to start rambling on telomeres.
Hell yeah.
Words like these make me irrationally angry. Thousands upon thousands of young girls die every year around the world because they are forced to birth children before being even remotely ready for it. Many of
Hell, they're what about the ones in like Somalia that like are sewn shut so the husband can have the right to unsew them? That is some fucking terrifying like sense of not just entitlement but insecurity from the men. I don't want to hook up with a virgin. I've done it. She didn't know how to do shit.
the poor souls who survive are left with fistulas,
Give me sluts.
genitals, and other terrible issues. Not to mention the mental and emotional scarring they may also suffer as a consequence. Yet we should totally allow it, because this guy is turned on by children, and his needs are perfectly justifiable, while being transgender and having consensual group sex is clearly appalling. Someone in their 20s that wants a girl in her mid-teens is wrong.
Yeah.
Because they don't want them for love, companionship. All he wants them for is a vessel to breed. If you talk to a 14-year-old girl, it is very clear that they're still a child, and wouldn't be
Hell, most women I know in the 20s are still kind of kids. And men, too. You'll start becoming adults, you start forming your beliefs. Like, 18 is, to a degree, sort of arbitrary, but we need that arbitrary. We need a line in the sand. Is it going to be 17? Is it going to be 19? It doesn't really matter. Though probably the older, the better. Plenty of people are just not ready for sex on their first time.
prepared for that level of responsibility.
I was, but I was shite at it.
And to be fair, I think I need to hear from a Muslim calling him an idiot too.
Yeah.
I'm a Muslim too, and this guy is a total idiot, trying to desperately prove something with nothing but nonsense. He's a clear example of someone who will do exactly what his grandfather told him, without even thinking or trying to learn some facts. He's like, 2 + 2 = 0, because my father said. Now I'll tell that to everyone and say that Allah has created us to do math like this, and what you all are doing is wrong. At least try to learn about your religion from your holy book and not some random guy on YouTube with a 30-minute video.
Or those channels you see in the UK for the Muslim community. That's just like 2 imams sitting and just getting calls all day. I've been in houses that are like just have that all day every day. Like the Western world must be terrifying to them. Good. I'm well past the point where I think that like Westerners are somehow superior, but I will say Western values on certain topics are superior. Yes, equal opportunity for women, supporting gay and trans rights. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But don't worry, there's plenty of people here in the West who also don't agree in those things, and they're also wrong. It doesn't matter about where you're born or what you believe. If you talk bullshit, you're gonna be called bullshit.
Once again, yeah, this
Or
place
elected
was
president.
completely disgusting. Anyway, I think that's about all the time I have for you today. Thanks for watching, everyone.
That wasn't Born, was it? That's no. Okay, I'm gonna let this play while I make up a cup of coffee and get myself a bowl of cereal, because I can eat again because it's after midnight. Hey Lev, isn't that stupid and arbitrary? Take it away, Walter. Oh, and before I steal more content from people who I vaguely know, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you can, help out the stream via Stream Goal. Check out the Discord, where tomorrow, after we are done with the Skyrim, we're going to watch a movie over on the voice chat. Anyone who wants to join can. And don't forget to follow on Twitch, where I'll be gaming from tomorrow onwards, seeing it's after midnight, where I do most of my gaming anyway. And of course, regardless of any of that, I hope you're having a fantastic time. Or at least a very comfy one. Ooh, the humidity's rough today. I live in a swamp. Ireland has swamps. We have witches and swamps and bogs. So many bogs. Hey kids, do you like bogs?
Hey everyone, this is Walter, and we're finally back after like 7 months to make more madness from the mind of our good friend Lucas Werner.
Yay!
Lucas is mostly known for threatening to sue Starbucks for age phobia when they kicked him out for being insanely creepy.
Yep.
I think these writings are actually from slightly
Got
before
it in the
then.
news.
So he was obviously being followed as a lolcow, even back then. Anyway, let's get started with Conversation Rage, the writing of Lucas Werner, Part 4. We're just going to launch straight back into this crap. It doesn't hurt your taxes. EBT contributes more to the economy than takes out of it, and disability benefits add trillions to the economy and generate billions of dollars per state every year. Move on and perhaps put the blame where the blame is truly due, on the heads of the government-funded, war-profiteering, pollution-generating, famine-creating, starvation-instituting, disease-limitless, sociopathically ignorant, national debt at 14 trillion US dollars and only rising, corporate welfare subsidized billionaire class. Gripe about corporate welfare, Generation Socialist. The real welfare queens are the ones who use the power of money at the expense of others, without the convenience of being wealthier than others. Giving money to the rich, NAFTA/TPP, has hurt us more than giving.
The thing is, he's not wrong about a lot of this, but in a heartbeat, he's the most hardcore conservative stance if he thought it could get him laid. Like, there is no moral center for Lucas. He'd kick a puppy and beat up someone for kicking a puppy if he thought he could get booed. You know how you get booed, buddy? You actually show up and be a good person, and a fun person, and an interesting person, and a happy person. And then you get booed. And you get booed without even, it just sort of magically appears. And hopefully it's attached to all those other things that you were. Your partner is the same. Because I look for the same things as a woman looks for. That, and I like them short. I'm tall. I like my short queens. I like my short stacks.
Giving money to the poor.
I'm not against tall, though.
100 times your taxes go to corporate subsidies and the oligarchic war machine than government
Oligarchic.
out to people living in poverty.
Oh,
It's
thank
funny to see
Christ.
him calling millennials Generation Socialist because that's one of the most puzzling things that he keeps saying about Gen Z to this day. He didn't bother.
He also claims to be like a communist sometimes, and then he talks about being like an ANCAP. He's like a Kaiserreich joke. You know, like communist Catholicism and shit. Grab him by the hoochie, damn right. Hoochie.
Bother to learn anything about Gen Z. He just switched to using the exact same methods he used for millennials. So the next paragraph is a bunch of crap about the economy that I don't feel like reading, let alone narrating.
Yeah.
You can pause to read it if you want, but let's get to the next one here. Nothing. That's why it's called an oligarchy. Maybe you need to listen. We have been at war in the Middle East for 26 years in a row, 1990 to 2016. This is the longest war in U.S. history.
Oh. You were stationed around it after the first Gulf War. If you're going to use just when American troops are in the region, you could go back as far as like the 60s. I'm not for the American military-industrial complex. Though I will say, if you guys are going to flex against your mortal enemy, Russia, and just give the poor Ukrainians like 3 armored divisions and a bunch of jets.
And the product of mass-scale mental illness, or at the very least mental illness with a contrived intent of manufacturing the descent of an even greater rift between the haves and have-nots on the planetary forum. Much like incest was used to hold power. Inbreeding leads to short telomeres, genetic abnormalities. Breeding with men over the age of 35 leads to longer telomeres, genetic benefits.
Oh yeah, now you're curious. No. Walter's one of those people who thinks that if he finds it interesting, everyone has to find it interesting. My God. This is the most bland cereal, short of like cornflakes. Manna from heaven.
Oh, yeah. Now you're curious.
Oh.
Maybe this goes beyond money. Maybe this is because of inbreeding. Personally, millennials, I think Bernie lost the nomination because your boyfriend has more money than me and you still don't comprehend socialism. Or why Republicans might make fun of liberals for this kind of elitist snob mentality.
In the 60s to the 90s, conspiracy theorists really came into their own. They've always existed. My God. Hell yeah. And I've got another bowl when this is done. Oh, perfect. Oh, conspiracy theorists always existed. And sure enough, our idea of the long-haired biker bar grassy knoll hippie pointing at proof of MK Ultra and all this shit on a big board came into it. But if you talk to any one of them, they'd all say the same thing as people who are gang stalked today. You know, it's why the government took my baby away. It's why I got fired from work. It's why all my friends left me. Every conspiracy nut believes that all these massive big events, 9/11, JFK, Pearl Harbor, the crucifixion, they can all lead back to why you couldn't get planning permit. And it's so you can be the hero that can then turn around and tell the unwashed masses. Neil Breen does this in his movies. He is dead serious and thinking like, there is a type of conspiracy. What is it? I can't say. It's too deep state. In his case, I think maybe he suffered brain damage or something like that. But he is just an example of it. And Lucas is too. Lucas thinks he doesn't get laid because of redlining and Jim Crow and Reaganomics. And the thing is, he's probably poor because of that and then he can't get laid. But here's the thing. He's also a schizo. And I know that's derogatory, but it's too much of a good term not to use. He's broken. Same with Cobes, who blames the sickos. He always talks about the sickos, doesn't he?
Hypocrisy just leaves a window open to the kind of corporatist noise we all hate. Money took the D and gave it to Hillary Clinton. American politics has become a bloated albatross where the left wing are snobs and the right wing are hicks. And the bird flies for the money, rather than how the writers of the U.S. Constitution wanted the bird to fly. By the
Constitution was divided into two groups. You had the Federalists, and I think they were called the Republicans. Federalists wanted centralized government, and the Republicans wanted these weren't the same as Republicans that came later. Wanted a more decentralized government. Basically, it was the birth of states' rights versus control by Washington.
People and for the people.
That's all they cared about.
Come up with such a simple black and white view of things. Guess Lucas only deals in absolutes. Half the country are hicks and the other half are snobs. No normal people on either side. Lucas is the only reasonable one here. I supported Bernie Sanders myself. I'm tired of money controlling the system, as are most people I know. Perhaps think about that when you won't date under your economic class, unlike all my ex-girlfriends. No.
Hitler invaded Poland so that I would eventually get fat on super tasty Eastern European bread. It's the same logic.
No.
The body is round.
The body is round.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for the €3. I very much appreciate there, Jay Trudeau. I want to remind everyone that our donation is anything given will make sure that we can keep the ads free from all these videos coming forward. So that 3 helped in its own way. And of course on Sundays, Krendar gets any money we might make. A little bit of it.
Coachella, the Warped Tour, and MTV Beach House are more important, right? Trust is greater than money. However, incest generates a global collapse and mass war on the civilization scale.
He really likes incest, doesn't he?
We're always at war. George Carlin stated that we go to war every 20 years in the United States. Now,
I feel so sorry for George Carlin's legacy. So many douchebags use him. Same with Martin Luther King. So many assholes misappropriate him.
We've been at war perpetually with the Arab world from 1992 to 2016, with no signs of letting up on the cash cow for those in charge of the money and the mass media advertising conglomeration.
It's all
that
about the
clouds this
money.
world in youth entitlement, intragenerational sex, and cash. I feel like I've never heard someone as obsessed with incest as Lucas is in these writings.
No,
Like
I
he's supposed to be
can
trying to get
I
women,
can
yet
introduce
he
you to
spends all
some
the time
people.
talking about fucked up shit like incest. It's a wonder this man never managed to get laid. I'm a 36-year-old male. Both my mom and stepmom have been married to older men for 30.
When this is all done, we need something much more lighter-hearted and shorter.
We've gone from a private lifestyle to comfortably retired. We need to end the bigotry against older men and younger women in the dating world. Go on any dating site or app and read the age preferences of women under 30, such as OkCupid, Plenty of Fish, Match.com, eHarmony, Tinder, or any dating site. Without trying to get to know us, it's usually fuck no to men over 30, but please, don't be a bigot. Mentality of these millennial chicks. Also, get a job, hippie. Would you believe Lucas keeps talking about how he's trying to get a job? Like currently. I guess one of his recent excuses for not doing things was not having his social security card. This is due to mental retardation of the human brain, and maybe you watch television and don't even notice, even as a media CEO, what you're doing to undo the harmony of our world by promoting segregation between older men and younger women, and divisions of age elsewhere in the circuitry of human social interaction known as the generation gap. This prejudice against love is largely because ageism is harder on females than males in American McGlobalized high society that poo-poos things that may irritate the establishment. If you're chasing older women, you're cool because you're into cougars and milfs, but if you're a younger woman into older men, you're either a gold digger or a slut with daddy issues, when nobody seems to consider that chemistry guides the zoological sex drive. He's about to make one of my favorite claims.
Alright. I was hearing all this on my headphones. And today's starting off great. We just got that donation, and there's an actual third bowl of cereal left. Just enough to justify it. Oh, we are starting off strong. So, looks like this coffee. Woo. So, he's going on about like how TV shows will show like will try to push away the idea of older men with younger women, but sitcoms exclusively do that. Modern Family had a much younger, or at least more aesthetically attractive woman than the main guy in it. Hell, even like Family Guy spoofs that with Lois and Peter. How the fuck does that happen? Well, it's because the network wants the sexy actress with the actual like established comedian, who are usually like not very physically good looking for the most part.
Here. Never mind the fact that rescuing a young homeless woman, dating her while you give her a
I look at Al Bundy and
hero, and rescuing an older
Peggy.
homeless man for the same purposes makes you a weirdo. That which makes us horny are the same chemicals that make living beings feel a need to go through the same sexual actions required to reproduce, and those chemicals are produced in males and females at different ages in their lives. I aim to explain in this thesis why fighting younger females with older male age gap love is as detrimental to human DNA as having sex and breeding with close family members, to retain political control. I feel like if Lucas managed to take in a young homeless woman, people would probably call the cops on him, rather than
very quickly. He comes back home and there's like a spare bed all laid out, and he just tells her to wait outside real quick, and then screams at his roommate, "Why'd you do that? Well, because you said we're gonna have a guest over, so I thought I'd prepared the bed for her to show that she's welcome. You don't think she was gonna sleep with you, do you? Why? Because I'm old?" So yes, that's what you thought.
I'm a hero. I don't know, let me know in the comments how you'd feel about Lucas finding a Gen Z girlfriend, like fellow creep Boogie 2988.
Yeah.
I should talk about that sack of crap sometime. I will send my 3 book
Oh,
ideas
Boogie.
to publishers when I have sex again. It's my age-reversing super baby semen. These are million.
Okay, I shouldn't be eating this. I shouldn't be watching this while I'm eating. But Boogie, that's a great example of somebody who's like the age difference is wild. And more importantly, the lifestyle difference as well. She's like this doormat of a woman. And he's just this scumbag. That documentary was so awful to him. And he deserves it. Like, he was so fat, the prostitute that would like, he'd sugar daddy. And they couldn't find his dick. He pissed all that money away.
$1 book ideas. I'll do what I want with my long sperm telomeres. Thank you, kindly.
Oh, God.
Book 1. Intergenerational Integration. Part 1. Ageism. The Fibonacci Argument Against Ageism. Part 2. Telomerance. The Chemical Argument for Age Gap Love. Book 2.
When he was typing this, you know he was like, his eyes were in the back of his head and he was like...
2. Warp Propagation. Part 1. Temporal Displacement
Warp
Theory.
propagation?
Part 2, Warp Quantum Tunneling. Book 3. Moral Atheism. Part 1. The Atheist That Made Our World.
The fuck
Part
is
2,
this?
What religion can do to help atheism. Old guys rule.
No, I don't.
Okay, so Lucas theoretically has...
If they aren't like you, no, they don't. We need to have a Logan's Run sort of thing where we all die when we turn 30. If you are what happens when you get older.
Information that will save the world, according to his own narrative. And he's holding it hostage until he gets laid.
Seems like a good drug for asthma.
7 years ago, and it's
Want to do
still
draft?
hasn't yet. Well, let's check out the next part.
I'm not fond of this entire sitcom genre. There's some that stand out. Like I'm a big fan of Frasier. Very intelligent, very well put together. A bit slow paced for some people. Also, I liked a lot more UK sitcoms. Black Books, for example. I know not a lot of people loved it, but Green Wing, big fan of Green Wing.
Human
IT
beings
Crowd.
are the only animals on Earth where the
In the US,
role is not
Married with Children was glorious.
older male, which is only due to bigotry generated by television. Much like racism in the past, we now suffer from a stigma against age. Watch any youth cultural biased programming channel, such as MTV. Clearly, we are a deluded species, for it is men over 35 and women under 26 that produce the top molecular...
TikTok disproves this because some of the biggest TikTokers are like much older than the people who watch them. The most obvious one is our good friend Pimp Monk, Beard X.
propagation of the reproductive chemicals necessary to make the fittest child, telomerase in sperm, progesterone in females.
So Lucas, people aren't people. They are genetic packets that solely exist to exist long enough to combine energies and then pass it on to the next generation. They're not individuals. They're not people with their own hopes and dreams and life experiences. They are born, we might as well be born in this big flesh pod. And then born fully, we should be mayflies. We should be born fully grown, exist for one day to mate.
Which also, in turn, are responsible for the sexual arousal needed to create offspring. So these are also the ages in which human beings are the most horny. Men over 35 are the most horny? What is his basis for that? I doubt it's true on average.
I can tell you, well, since turning 30, I've had fun sexual experiences, and I've had some days where my incognito tab has been opened more than once. For most part, no. I remember just realizing, wait, you can watch porn. You can watch 10-minute previews on like Television X and stuff like that. Alright. I still remember girls and guys when they'd have like parties, porn would be playing. And everyone would just be kind of like glued. And if you looked around the room, you'd see like people like just. You're horny when you're in your youth. And then kind of slows down. It's not the reverse. Although maybe for some people it is. Lucas is adamant that it is.
The only thing standing in the way of intergenerational sex and dating becoming the majority human, heteronormative, and healthiest role is the billionaire class that controls mass media at the detriment of the world economy and the human genome. The main reason men and women at differing ages are attracted to one another is because women between the ages of 16 and 20
billionaires want to control your time, and if they could, they'd have you fucking a lot more, because then they get more people on their apps.
25 begin the stage of their highest molecular propagation of progesterone, called fertility.
Oh my god.
And men between 35 and 55 begin
He's
the stage
talking
of
like
their
a
highest
chemist
propagation of
would.
telomerase, called longevity. The two chemicals, progesterone in females, telomerase in males, are electrochemically drawn to the same purpose, bringing the fittest offspring into the world. Whether or not we act upon these urges is a choice, but if we want happiness, we should act upon our sexual
Lucas,
desires and start a
I
relationship.
say this as a fellow man, as a human being on this planet. Never act on any of your urges ever.
With one another. Otherwise, why else are we here? To be unhappy? It is
No, I'm
natural
actually
for
quite happy
animals
right
to
now.
seek
I have
pleasure
cereal.
and human beings to explore their curiosity.
And coffee.
Oh, haven't you heard, Lucas? Andrew Tate says that it's gay to have sex with a woman for pleasure.
Yeah. Well, I don't trust Andrew Tate because he has no chin. Literally no other reason. I can't think of any other reason to dislike Andrew Tate. He just literally is a chinless wonder. And I love how it was Aiden Ross. First time around, it was a pizza. It was a pizza delivery guy that doomed him. Then it was Aiden Ross, his ally and friend, that doomed him. I actually think Aiden might be one of those people who do play up their stupidity for the bit. Like, he didn't actually know what fascism was at one point. He's just young, stupid, and rich. And one day he will not be. I can't imagine that motherfucker has a savings account. I've always said this. If you do really well early on streaming, the first thing you do is take a 10% of that money, put it into a savings account that will increase in value. Don't allow yourself to touch it. And then every year, have your money garnished by, I don't know, 10, 20, 30,000. I'm talking about if you're like one of the really wealthy motherfuckers. At the end of it, maybe you'll have, by the time like your career's over, ideally you literally are retiring on your own terms, like say Felix is, or more likely you've just fallen out of favor with the algorithm. You can now go back to school, or you can go start a new job, but you have that little nest egg just set aside, and you were having all those parties. Did you feel that money getting taken away from you? No, but you're glad that you have it now.
What a moron. These two life-sustaining molecules serve quite well as...
Seems like a good drug for asthma. Yeah, Jet looks like it doesn't do a damn thing for your lungs. It more like suits your brain. But I found that drug that they use in the Fallout show kind of interesting for the anti-feral serum.
Genetic markers of the male and female bodies, and at plateauing levels make us both sexually turned on because our bodies are telling us to make a baby.
Alright, this is just pure gibberish at this point now. This is like some time cube shit. Or if you'd ever watched the videos the guy who created Temple OS would put out, where he'd just be mumbling to himself. I mean, it was always gibberish. But let's Here, let's see some positive sides of actual mental illness. This is somebody who suffers from real schizophrenia.
What?
My name is Cody. I have schizophrenia. In this video, I am having a visual hallucination. Luna is a psychiatric service dog that can help me identify hallucinations.
Greet. Greet.
She's trained to greet people on command. If she does, I know they're really there. If she stays and looks up at me, I know they're hallucinations. She's the goodest girl. Aw. That's really awesome. Except, who's going to tell this guy there was no dog there? Oh. See, I just needed some fucking food and I'm back in the game. Here, this is nowhere near as disgusting as we were saying with Lucas, but this is from the movie Zenrum from 1991. Really loud. Let's keep it low. Oh, look at that. Oh, damn. Look at the little back legs. Whoop. Look at that eyeball there and nothing else. Boop, boop. The window of opportunity is... Oh, yeah. All right. Right. Let's watch this next one. Because like I said, we want to get through the as much of this list as possible tonight. Most of it's actually really short now. Have we actually... I think we did it. Makes me think of the Hydrochem from New Vegas, restoring damaged limbs. Yeah. The first time I ever got addicted in New Vegas was to Hydra, and it's such a rare drug. What would you do if this happened? Oh, damn.
You know, I think it's so funny when I see videos like this because it's like, what would you do? And then the situation be something that you have absolutely no control over. Like, well, like Bob the Builder to you, fam. But I'm not gonna lie, if I was in that situation, boy, I'm finna.
My neck and my back. I want 150,000. But we can sell it right now for 20 bucks.
It's like those random videos of like, what would you do? And it's like the Earth is being devoured by a cosmic horror. Like, I don't know. Stand there. What would you want me to do? Oh, I'll activate my mega powers of persuasion and tell it to actually only eat the French. They know what they did. Oh, this. Yeah, there's stuff. I think we actually have done it. We have other stuff for sure, but I think we can just wrap up the stream with some daily dose. Yeah, this.
Hello everyone, this is...
And probably that's it, honestly. Because I do have an early day tomorrow. I have to be up in about 8 hours, actually a little less. So I'd be wanting to crawl into bed and shouldn't have made coffee. God damn it. What I'm gonna do is leave that cereal. I don't need that cereal now. That would be gluttony. But I'll have that when I wake up. Cereal is kind of meant to be first thing in the morning. But I'll have this coffee and then crawl into bed. I'm watching The Expanse right now. Let's see, channel suggestions real quick. Oh, the Keffel story thing, I'm not interested in that. South Park's 1950 Panavision. Might keep that for Sunday. That's a good old rant about God. We already watched that. That was a while back. Same. That would get us in trouble. All right, yeah. There's no point laboring it. We've had a good run, but my sleep's been awesome so far, and there's no reason to change that anytime soon.
Your daily dose of internet.
Excuse me. Yeah. I'd like to do a fit check with me.
A fit check?
Yeah, just outfit check.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so I just kind of show off my outfit. Perfect, just like that. All right, we're gonna turn it around. Go ahead. Just show off your outfit. There you go. Okay, stunning.
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
This zipline
I like the little baggie he had. Like the fucking 8-year-old daughter. Like, I'm getting my little girl some. Oh.
is way too close to the swamp.
Oh no. But now we do have to. Geez, I was gonna say, where's the guy who's obsessed with swamp puppies? Ooh, that's what we should wrap up on. Yeah, we haven't checked in on him in a while. Swamp. I'll check this out tomorrow. The puppy. Yeah, I'll be streaming a bit earlier. What? Oh, don't tell me Brett's finally gone. And look at this. This fucker finally got around to Crystal Station. Well, guess who beat you to the punch? For once. Hell yeah. He always goes on that I'm stealing his ideas. Well, guess what, Ben? Shoes on the other foot now, isn't it? Fucking dog boy. A fish Garrett.
This has to be the happiest dog of all time.
Dog boy. Sometimes dogs do that because they're like scared, but I don't think that's his.
Goodness.
What the fuck was that? Wait, what the fuck? So a wheel goes off, and then another wheel is like magnetized onto it?
This bike rider would...
They look so unimpressed by it as well. Yep, I did it. I guess you did.
This bike rider was being chased by a wolf, but this person in their car scared it away.
Oh, damn. Yeah, look at the size of wolves, by the way. Like, oh, everyone always thinks wolves are just big dogs. No. They are huge.
Too slow. High five. Too slow.
Don't fuck with the dog.
High five. You pop too slow.
Oh,
A moose broke into a movie theater and started eating popcorn.
Yeah, what can you do at that point? Like, moose can fuck you up really badly. You don't do it, okay? You just keep your distance.
We were taking a bath. No!
He was sad because someone...
Wait, what? Oh, yeah.
He was sad because someone took his toy.
No!
Oh no!
What the... You monster! Give the fucking toy back!
This carpenter made a super satisfying stop-motion animation.
Oh, yeah. Dude. I like the little spoon. Pop, 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 pop. Ready. Oh, I hate when they do that with their
Does
eyes.
anyone know why this water is broken?
No, it's not. It can't be that. Kitty. Angry kitty. Happy kitty.
Imagine how strong you need to
Nice.
be to juggle car tires.
Pretty damn strong. But as strong as Rev? Nah, Rev could juggle a whole car.
That is
Biceps.
this video, or we hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you guys again
Very soon.
Later.
Later. Bye. There's not enough sausages to wrap up on, so... Is that... Okay, I'm watching that as soon as this is over. Fuck yeah, I love Seth. He's so funny. His timing is just brilliant, and he often likes the same sort of game I do. Hey people, Seth here. Yeah, I'll watch this tomorrow, probably while I'm eating the last of the cereal there. And I'll find out if there's anything good there to steal. See, Ben, it's not just you. I steal from everyone, equally. Okay, let's see. Still looking for that 20-foot python, huh? God, it's nothing but the endless hand geckos. So if you don't know who this guy is, he is, I think he works for the Florida, like, Wildlife Agency. And he goes after all these invasive species. And he's been on an endless quest to find a 20-foot python. But he gives zero shits about the animals. It's so... Like, he'll wander around the Everglades at, like, the darkest of night barefoot. I just think one day he'll just vanish. Like, he'll just, like, one of those swamp puppies just got him.
Ooh, we got a python, yoink. Almost got me right there.
Ooh!
Tell me where that 20-footer is, Mr. Python. This warm weather is firing everything, especially the bugs.
Oh!
Cottonmouth. Whoa, don't strike at me. Yoink. We got a
Look at the fucking, the cottonmouth. If that had bit him, he'd have been fucked.
okay gecko. And
Gecko.
Happy. I also got a little curly tail too. This
Oh.
barnacle is chowing down on an invasive walking catfish. Check out this non-native bacillus lizard. He is a stud. Look at his pretty blue eye. This
Nice.
swamp puppy is an absolute stud. Look at that big head. All these swamp puppies better tell me where that 20-footer is. This is a massive native southern toad. I don't mean to bother you, Mr. Swamp Puppy, but you gotta tell me where that 20-foot python is. Okay, I'll take that as a no. I was just gonna save him from eating you. This crocodile is staring at me under the water. Nice try, buddy. You're not gonna get me this time. You do have a beautiful tail, though. Ooh, we got a native corn snake. Yoink. He's giving me a little kiss.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Ooh, we got a python. Yoink. Almost got me right there.
Yeah, like, he'll just have, like, animals biting and stinging him all over, and you're like, look at these silly little fellas. Like, damn, nature, you scary. Okay. Everyone, it has been a pleasure. But, like I said, I've got my evening set. So, I've done enough shilling. All I'm going to say is, I hope you've had a fantastic evening. See you guys today, but for most of you, it's tomorrow, for some Skyrim. No mods, no masters. I'll be probably... Did I say I'm starting that around about 6? If I was smart, I did, because afterwards... 6 a.m., most likely. Yeah. We're going to watch a movie. What's the movie? You're going to have to show up and find out. But it's on a lot of people's tongues right now, let's just say. Also, I kind of like the color scheme when I'm not don't have a video behind me. I kind of like this. The neon adds to it. Yeah, you see, just after a little bit of cereal, I already feel fantastic. You know, I'm losing weight like crazy with these fast days and the exercise, but you know, you do got to pull yourself back. There's a reason we eat. Some of us don't like the concept of dying. Although I will technically be dead for most of you now because I will vanish, but I will return. Like some sort of zombie and or lich. Till then,